There was no other way to put it. Last year was a whooping. The Bears embarrassed the Buffs 52-7. But new year, new team, and here in Colorado, a new coach. John Embry brings what he hopes is a new life to Boulder, and on this postcard day in Colorado, looks to right the wrongs of last year. It's the Bears and the Buffs in Boulder. We come to you today from the home of the Colorado Buffaloes. We're in Boulder, Colorado, on the campus of the University of Colorado. We're at Folsom Field for a Pac-12 game that's a conference game. That's not a conference game. They both play in the Pac-12 now, but this game will not count in the conference standings. It's the California Golden Bears and the hometown Colorado Buffaloes. And hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins, my partner once more, Mike Pulaski. And Mike, I think this falls into that category of barometer game. Are the Bears as on as they appeared to be at home last week? And are the Buffaloes as off as they appeared to be on the road last week?
Exactly. Buffaloes, new coaches, a lot of young faces out there. They want to see what this team can do in their first home game with a new staff. And the Bears have a lot of young faces, a new system on offense. They're going to check against a little better opponent this week in Colorado.
You know, one thing we do know is a given about the Bears. They can make big plays. They got two playmakers as wideouts. Both guys came up big last week. As good as anybody in the country, I think.
As a quarterback, you have to love to have great targets. And that's what Cal has, is two great targets. Keenan Allen, number 21. Last week, 8 catches, 112 yards. He is special in the open field. And Marvin Jones, the consummate leader, the senior, 5 catches, 118 yards, 2 tugs. Great on the run after the catch. Both of these guys are special. And when you put them out there together, you have to pick your poison as a defense. Keenan Allen, very smooth. He gets open. He finds a way to make moves with the ball. Marvin Jones, explosive, very fast, runs perfect routes. Keenan Allen, very comfortable. His brother at quarterback, Maynard, loves to throw to him, been throwing to him all year long. And then Marvin Jones on the other side, you just have to pick who you want to beat you because you can't double them both, and you have to find one.
Yeah, and that's the onus that will fall on the Colorado Buffaloes today. Let's talk about the Buffs for a minute. Tyler Hansen, talented quarterback, but a talented quarterback who was under siege in Hawaii.
Absolutely. Versus Hawaii, you see him 3,045 career passing yards. Had a bit of a troubled career here in Colorado. Is the starter this year, but last week was under pressure all game long. It didn't help that they lost their starting left tackle, David Bakhtiari, early in the game. But 7 sacks. He just felt like he was getting hit all game long. And this week they're hoping to protect him and give him some time.
So the Bears playing on the road for the first time, and it won't be easy. 50,000 people here in Boulder will be rooting against them. Kickoff coming up.
Tedford yesterday and asked him what he expected to see. Now, they only had game film versus Hawaii, so you don't get to see a lot, 1 or 2 formations. But he said they like to trap with those corners. The guys pinch down hard and they force the run. That's exactly what Colorado is showing early.
And you have a look at the California starters, brought to you by Anderson Carpet and Linoleum Sales. Anderson Carpet and Linoleum Sales, a reputation you can stand on. Out of the gun this time, empty backfield. They spread the field. Maynard, quick pass, in and out of the hands of Jones. He won't drop one of those in 100.
That's a case of I can feel all the green grass ahead of me, and instead of paying attention to the ball hitting my hands and watching it in, I'm going to try to make the move before I make the catch. As a receiver, you have to catch the ball first. Jones's eyes were already 10 yards downfield.
So Anger will come on to punt. We talk about the thin air here being a real advantage to the kickers. You're looking at one of the best kickers in the country in Brian Anger. And if this is a field position game, you have to give the edge to Cal. Anger drives this one. Richardson is the deep man. Richardson will let it bounce. And it takes a backward bounce for California. Lands the 24-yard line. Not one of Anger's better efforts. 39 yards on the punt. So now it falls to the hands of Tyler Hansen, quarterback for Colorado. He's a senior. Has put up some big numbers, comes off a very tough game at Hawaii, and it didn't all have to do with him. He was playing, as you said earlier, Bakhtiari, the veteran left tackle, key member. Of course, the offensive line went down in that game.
When you evaluate a quarterback and his performance, you have to evaluate the whole picture. And he was having a hard time. Didn't have much protection from the left side of his line. Was under duress most of the second half. He showed up well as you watch the tape.
And Bakhtiari is not in the ball game now. He was iffy up to game time. Not playing this first series. Play fake this time. Hansen rolls, throws underneath, throws over the head of Ryan Dean. I don't think Dean thought he was the intended receiver.
And that should have been a gimme. As a quarterback, a little counter-action pass coming out, rolling out to the right. You just want the quick dump to get into it, and he just missed him, plain and simple.
2nd down and 10. Well, we talked about Zach Maynard with nerves, perhaps a few for Tyler Hansen, too, as you look at the Colorado offense. Rodney Stewart has put up big numbers in his 3 prior years here at Colorado, and he's got some get-up. This time they split the tight end Thornton to the far side of the field. Hansen directing a little traffic. Bears show a 5-man front. They come with a 5-man rush. The slant is caught this time by Richardson, and that'll be close to a first down.
The Bears in man coverage on the outside. You can see Richardson just sliding to the inside, a double slant pattern. It's an easy throw for a quarterback. It's a quick one to get your rhythm, to get comfortable completing passes. After he missed that first one, he came back and threw an absolute strike on his 2nd pitch of the day.
Hansen got a very good spot on that, incidentally, because it didn't really look like he had made it. Give me an update here in the 4th quarter game you were watching. 8:38 left in the 4th, and Auburn now 14 to the good of Mississippi State. Stewart, for the first time, no place to go, is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Michael Kendricks, who you will see a lot of today, very active from his inside backer spot with his best friend DJ Holt on the stop.
Such a good linebacking crew for California. Michael Kendricks, preseason All-American in many publications, has that explosive speed from side to side. You know, they had to replace Mike Muhammad last year, who was a fantastic linebacker for the Bears. But I talked to Clancy Pendergast, and he said, I think we're better at that position this year with Michael Kendricks because he can run sideline to sideline.
Hard to imagine. The Bears' team speed is excellent. 2nd down and 10. Hansen straight back. Bears come over the middle. Tight end. Barr makes the catch. First down at the 45-yard line.
Tyler Hansen, now a senior, his 4th year in the program. He's making his reads. If we freeze it here, he's going to have 1 read inside, 1 to the outside. He works 1, 2, all the way back to 3 in his read very quickly. As a quarterback, a nice job of working the field and using your eyes. It's showing poise in the pocket early in the game.
Good job by Barr to set down in that zone. And a gain of 11. So back-to-back first downs on the first possession for the Buffs. They go out of the I formation this time. And the give is to Stewart. Breaks the tackle across the 45, down to the 41-yard line of California. DJ Campbell finally makes the stop. And a pickup of 13.
A nice downhill run by Stewart. And DJ Holt there, but man up. Got blocked on the play, and Stewart, although he's small at 5'6", does have power, and he has good leverage as he hits the hole. You wouldn't think of him as a between-the-tackles type of runner because of his size, but they do like his toughness, and Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator, told us yesterday, you can't measure heart.
Now Tony Jones is the tailback. Play fake. Hansen will roll, steps up, throws underneath, and I believe that ball was tipped by Ryan Davis. Davis, incidentally, getting a start today on the right side for California as Camparelli has moved to the left side ahead of David Wilkerson. Defensively for the Bears, and they will alternate about 8 or 9 people on that down line. Guyton, Payne, and Owusu get the start. Ryan Davis, as we said, at the outside. Camparelli on the other side. He played the right side last week. And a very talented secondary. Half of Colorado's offensive plays have gone for 10 or more yards. So Eric Bieniemy drawing up the right place. Here's a screen for Stewart. He's got room. 45-30. To about the 28-yard line, and another Colorado first down, another pickup of 13.
Perfect situation to throw the screen, a great play call. If you get man-to-man coverage, both linebackers for the Bears on the dog, they get locked up in the line. Man-to-man coverage outside, it leaves your running back room to run with the football. Perfectly executed play call. Michael Kendricks finally making the play from behind, but both linebackers dogging, getting caught in the wash. Springs Stewart.
First down at the 28-yard line of the Bears. In motion this time. And the give to Stewart. Stewart will get about 4. Cattouse and Anthony make the stop.
And so far, exactly the type of drive that Coach John Embry wants from his Buffs. He wanted to establish a running game. He said we have to be able to control the ball by running the football. They weren't able to do it very well last week versus Hawaii, but Coach Eric Bieniemy doing the job, making the right play calls, and switching up just enough to establish a running game but get out on the screens as well.
This time Richardson comes to the far side and McCulloch to the left side, to the near side I should say. Single setback is Stewart. 2nd and 6. Hansen straight back, throws, and it is caught by Richardson. And another first down. Richardson, a great grab. Making a great move on the ball was Josh Hill, and that was one of those all or nothing deals.
And Josh Hill was in position for a pick 6. Hansen with a very risky throw. All Hill has to do is drive a little steeper downhill. Instead of going for the ball, he goes for the tackle, which coaches like to see, but he could have taken that one to the house had he driven for the pick.
So another first down for the Colorado Buffaloes, and they'll have it now at the 18-yard line of the Bears. Stewart, the lone setback. And flags fall, and we may get a delay here or some movement on the line.
False start on the offense.
So a false start, first penalty of the ball game, and that'll back the Buffs up 5 yards. Let's take a look at our principal financial edge to the game.
And the edge for the Buffs is they have to establish a running game. We've seen them do it so far on offense. Defensively, they can't expose themselves. But offensively, they've done exactly what they need to do so far and establish the running game. Now they need to finish.
Buffs in the I formation. Hansen to throw. Now he throws, and he had a man. He overthrew him. I think he was trying to throw the ball out of bounds, but McCulloch was wide open.
To make a read as a quarterback and to start on one side and roll to that side and then try to come back and throw across the field, it's a much smarter move to throw that ball away than try to find a guy.
Let's talk about the other keys to the game. First of all, we saw the Buffaloes. How about the Bears?
For Cal, they need to use their team speed. On defense, they need to blitz, they need to dog, cover man-to-man. On offense, they need to use the receivers, of course, and then they want to contain Hansen. Clancy Pendergrass told me, this kid wants to run, we have to keep him in the pocket.
Hansen straight back, rolls to his right, buying time, throws to the end zone, jump ball out of bounds.
And exactly what we were talking about. It's a designed drop-back pass. He had a pocket, but Hansen feels more comfortable in space than with a bunch of bodies surrounding him. He wants to be outside. He wants to clear his vision. The Bears are going to try to keep him hemmed in more than allow him to roam the field.
So the Buffs face their first third down situation of the game, and it's a 3rd and long.
You always hope in a game that your first third down is going to be something like 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3. 3rd and 15, not as nice.
Clancy Pendergast, I beg your pardon, has done such a marvelous job with this California team as the Buffaloes, their 12th snap of this drive. They need 15. Hansen rolls to his right, buying time again. Now he throws, comebacker. A catch is made by Cephalo. Was it good? Yes, but it's short of the first down by about a yard. Now it's going to be decision time for John Embry.
A nice pass where only Cephalo can make the catch. And a great job of Cephalo keeping his feet in bounds. Great awareness on the field. See Hansen rolling to the right. Like I said before, he feels comfortable in space. And that one might be reviewed.
Yeah,
it looks like his feet were off the ground. Maybe that left toe. That shot maybe had the left toe in.
Very close.
Yeah, very close, but a fantastic catch by Cephalo at full extension to pull that one in.
And they will look at this.
And remember, they have to have proof positive to overrule the call on the field. The call on the field is that's a catch. And I can see from that last shot that we had, it's hard to say that that left toe wasn't completely in.
Yeah, that was very, very close. Foot has to be in, and he has to have possession. We'll jump off the track while they look at this. We'll find out when we come back. 7:56 remaining, first quarter. Don't go away. And we welcome you back. That play will stand as called, so the evidence not conclusive. as we suspected. They need a yard, 4th down. Stewart has it and more. DJ Holt makes the stop, and a pickup of a couple, I believe, for Stewart. And the drive continues.
You know, the spot wasn't that generous. I think as the officials came out, they're going to measure.
Well, you're right.
I agree with you from up here in the booth. It looked like he had it.
It's iffy right now from where they spotted the ball.
But that spot is going to put it in question.
It's going to be very, very close.
One thing Colorado has done is they have come out and they have really hammered the ball. They have established the running game, which is one of their big keys, and they don't have it.
It is short, and the Bears have held. Not at all a generous spot.
So Colorado establishes a running game, but one thing John Embry told us yesterday is they need to learn how to start games and to finish. They did not finish that drive. That's one of the things as this team develops its character, as they figure out who they are, their personality, they have to learn to finish, especially when they're on such a roll.
14 plays, but they don't get anything out of it. So the Bears will have it at their own 14-yard line, at their own 8-yard line, I beg your pardon. Make it the 9-yard line. 91 yards away. Maynard from under center, a pitch to Sofele. He's got room. He cuts it up the field, the 15, gets to about the 18, maybe the 19-yard line, a pickup of about 9. Matt Summers-Gavin out in front clearing the way for Sofele.
A big man at 6'4", 295 pounds. And you'll see him out in front, number 75, just clearing the way with blocking. He can really run. I talked to Jim Michalczyk, the offensive line coach and run game coordinator. Said Summers-Gavin just had a fantastic summer, a great fall, and has worked really hard to take his game to the next level. 3
wideouts this time, single setback. This is Sofele again, and Sofele will have the first down across the 20 to about the 22-yard line, a gain of 4, and a first down for the Bears. Douglas Rippey on the stop for the Buffs.
And Sofele hitting the hole extremely hard. One of those things Jeff Tedford likes to see in his backs is he wants to see that downhill running game. He doesn't want any dancing in the hole. He doesn't want you waiting for penetration. He wants you to hit the hole hard and then make your move at the second level. One thing Sofele has done, and Jim Michalczyk loves to see it, is he hits that hole hard. And Michalczyk told me Sofele will get stronger with every carry.
And the Bears establishing the run early on here. Now Maynard to go up for the second time. Steps up, throws for Calvin. Incomplete, little wide for him.
One of the things that Zach Maynard's going to have to learn to do is to throw on balance. As we spoke with Jeff Tedford yesterday, he said some of the short passes, the quick stuff, his feet were out of position. That time, just trying to throw that inside slant again, the short under route, his feet stepped forward downfield, but his arm threw out to the side. The ball came off wobbly, he was off balance, and it affects his accuracy.
Bears stay with 3 wideouts. And now they're bringing Allen in motion. Here's Allen this time on a reverse. Nothing doing. Well defended that time by Parker Orms, who just stayed put.
And an interesting move. Before we saw Parker Orms into the boundary, the short side corner who you usually roll. This time, they put him out to the field. He's obviously the corner that they want to use to force the run back inside. And the Bears on just a fly sweep. Keenan Allen, no open space to run to. An excellent job of playing assignment defense by the Buffs.
So the Bears look at a 3rd and long. They need 9. Empty backfield this time for California. Maynard steps up, throws, got a man, caught by Allen. First down at the 42-yard line, and he was on the money with that one. Gain of 20.
In talking to Greg Brown, defensive coordinator for Colorado, you get mismatches with Cal. They spread you out. They have 3 wide receivers out to the wide field if we run it there. And all they're going to do is try to find a hole. You check down receivers, 1, 2, 3. If the first guy gets covered across, that means they have nobody filling in that second gap. That time the second hole was open. It's just numbers. You have to find the guy in space.
Edmond and McGovern are the 2 wideouts now for California. Jeff Tedford told us you got to play a lot of people. And here's a bootleg and a toss underneath to Tyndall, the fullback, and he gets it inside the 45 to the 44-yard line of the Buffaloes. John Tyndall, incidentally, playing for Will Kapp today. Kapp not available. Concussion in last week's game.
And Tyndall doing a nice job out of the backfield. I think Will Kapp a little more of a natural athlete, but Tyndall doing a great job. Just that quick fullback flare control, and Ray Polk, the safety for Colorado, coming up with the final hit. Now, that's two big athletes hitting each other.
First down at the 44-yard line of the Buffaloes. First time in Colorado territory for the Bears. This time Maynard throws over the middle, intercepted. Picked off by Major. At the 40-yard line of the Buffaloes have the first turnover of the game. And a ball that Maynard would dearly love to have back. Had happy feet on that one.
One of the big things that we talk about for quarterbacks is decision making. You have to make great decisions. As you watch Maynard here, he drops back. He doesn't find his receiver to the outside. He feels the pressure coming in, and he drops the ball into the Buffs' hands. Now they have a chance to go ahead.
No score, 5:06 remaining first quarter, and the Buffs will have it following the interception by Major. Gives us a moment to talk about our Geico quote of the game. Let's take a look at it right now. I don't buy into the revenge factor as much because it's a different team, a different staff. He was referring, of course, to last year's game, 52-7 thumping by the Bears over the Buffaloes. And this time, just a throw out there and a great grab for a huge first down. Richardson, just one-on-one, just that simple. Let it go, put it in a perfect place.
A perfect matchup outside against Steve Williams. You have a height advantage, but that was a perfectly delivered ball. Remember, as a quarterback, he's throwing to his backside, and your ball drifts to the right because of the rotation. He starts that ball over the outside shoulder. It drifts back in perfectly to the inside, and Richardson gave him space in order to complete that pass.
That time Jack Harris got out of his stance a little bit early, so that's going to back the Buffs up 5 yards. 36 yards on that completion from Hansen to Richardson. And we're looking at a very different Tyler Hansen this week than we saw last week in Honolulu.
That throw will build a little confidence right there. Richardson is a guy who the coaches think the sky is the limit. Good speed at the outside. Originally went to UCLA out of high school, Sarah High School down in Gardena. Ended up transferring to Colorado after a summer at UCLA, but has been such a big bonus for this Colorado program.
Hansen now 6 of 10, 90 yards. Here's a screen again. Stewart, 25-20 to the 15, inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. First down Buffs. Second time that play has worked exactly as you draw it up.
And this is what they needed to do last week and didn't get to it. The screens underneath. You get linebackers dropping into pass coverage, and you get some of the big bodies out in front. Michael Kendricks ends up making the tackle, but he ends up making it way downfield. Excellent execution.
Gain of 16 on the play. Here's Stewart again, and Stewart this time has no place to go. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Ernest Owusu on the stop for the Bears.
And that's just that classic front side zone play. It's a pro-style offense. Eric Bieniemy schooled in the pro-style set, the West Coast style set. Obviously, John Embry coming, worked with Mike Shanahan, worked in the NFL. These guys all very comfortable in calling that pro-style offense.
Second down, 11. Play fake this time. Hansen on the bootleg. Has all day to throw the ball. Now he throws to the end zone, and it is out of the back of the end zone and incomplete.
But that's all that he had. There was absolutely nobody open in coverage. A great job by the Bears. Mark Anthony in coverage in the back of the end zone against Tyler McCulloch, which is a height matchup for Colorado, but perfectly blanketed all the way. It's a 3-level route, and all 3 levels were covered.
I like the way they're getting Hansen out of the pocket, though.
For a quarterback that likes to run, that's the way you make him comfortable. You get him out, you don't let him get hit, you have him dink and dunk, drop some stuff off, and you go for it. You go for the deep stuff every once in a while. It's a nice mix-up.
Clemens goes to the far side, Richardson to the near side. Gray in slot. Hansen straight back over the middle. Catch is made by Gray. It's going to be well short of the first down at the 10-yard line, and it'll be 4th down, and that will bring on the field goal team.
Just that classic route you used to hear about when the Niners were winning championships. The Z drive, flanker drive on the outside, tight end vertical, flanker short. You pick your read as a quarterback. And right now, Hansen doing a nice job of reading, managing the game.
Will Oliver will try the field goal. It will be about a 27-yarder. He was very effective in practice. That snap, though, And the kick is up, and he still managed to get it through. What a great job by both the holder on that play and the kicker. Justin Gorman got it down for Oliver. 3-0, Colorado. We're coming back. Welcome back. 3-0 ball game. Colorado scores first, and there's a little bit of history there, Mike.
Yeah, in the 5 games played between these two schools, the team that scored first has won every single game. And not only that, the lead has never changed hands. The team that scored first continued to lead throughout the whole game in the series. So they've got history on their side.
Justin Castor will kick it away. Edmond will be the deep man. Cifelli the short man. So far, offensively, Colorado has been very consistent. The only thing they haven't done is put a lot of points up. This kick headed for Edmond at about 2 yards deep. He's going to come out. Gets the 10, gets the 15, and he stops short of the 20 at about the 18-yard line. By Arthur Jaffe. Gives us a chance to go down to the sideline. And Kate Longworth. Kate, what do you got?
Well, Barry, as you mentioned, Coach Embry doesn't subscribe to that revenge factor. He's made it a point that these are 2 different teams out on the field today that we saw last year in Berkeley. But that hasn't stopped football fans statewide from seeking some redemption this weekend. In fact, they've coined this weekend Bay Area Revenge Weekend as both the Buffs and Broncos avenge from lopsided defeats last year to the Bears and Raiders, respectively. Both Colorado teams each lost by an astounding 45 points. So the Buffs trying to set the stage right now, and then center stage Monday night, it's Broncos and Raiders in Denver. What do you think, guys? A little front range versus the Bay Area?
Well, right now just a 3-point game, and there's a pass in and out of the hands of Anthony Miller, and he had big yardage. Once again, thinking about what happens after the catch.
Well, and exactly, this is what the Bears offense has been doing so far this game. It hasn't been so much that the defense of Colorado has stopped them. The Bears have stopped themselves. We look back, Marvin Jones drops a pass, Anthony Miller, both these guys, phenomenal pass catchers, drop a pass. That time, Colorado had a completely uncovered man on the outside, completely wide open. It was Tyndall. If you just get him the ball, he rolls for 40 yards. The Bears offense shooting themselves in the foot.
This time they split Miller, the tight end, all the way to the near side of the field. Maynard straight back throws, little hitch. It's caught, but not for much by Marvin Jones, and Jones will pick up about 4. Greg Henderson not allowing him to go anywhere.
And Henderson, one of the true freshmen this year, that John Embry's getting some time on the defensive side of the ball. See Maynard with just a quick jab fake and the quick hitch. Right now, I think Jeff Tedford trying to do anything to establish some rhythm on the offensive side of the ball. This Cal Bear offense is completely without rhythm. They're killing themselves. They need to find something to work and put some plays together.
3rd down and 5. They bring Cifelli all the way to the near side. Buffs show blitz. They don't come with it. Maynard over the middle, and that should be interference. And it is. Allen was held up.
No, that wasn't just interference. That was a full Buffalo ride right there, Bear.
Mugging.
Yeah. Parker Orms and Derek Webb both inside, running through double coverage. We saw Zach Maynard complete the pass in double coverage last week, only this time they're both hanging off of Keenan Allen, and it's going to be tough to make a catch that way.
I'll say.
First you get hogtied from behind, and then you get the forearm shiver from the front while the ball's in the air.
Well, that was one of those no doubts.
Yeah.
And the Bears will take it, a 1st down, even though it is by way of penalty, although it might have been a lot bigger than that had the catch been made. Bears, of course, want to get the ball into Keenan Allen's hands in the open field. Come with a blitz this time. Maynard throws for Allen, and Allen had to wait for the ball. It was not a well-thrown ball. He was open for a moment, but Maynard did not get the ball where he needed to.
And that's the second ball today that we see from Zach Maynard coming sideways off of his hand. He's a lefty. And watch as he drops back. This ball, as it comes out, wobbles. The tip right away starts wobbling up the side. That ball needed to be on a line. As a quarterback, you learn never throw down the middle late. And that was not just late, but it was hung out. And Anthony Miller was out there, and he just couldn't get him the ball.
2nd down and 10 now. The ball at the 34-yard line. And Maynard checking off here at the line. Again, the Buffs show blitz. They're back out of it. A quick toss this time to Calvin. And Calvin gets a little bit across the 40 to about the 44-yard line. Going to be close to a 1st down. I believe he has it. Travis Sandersfield runs him out.
This is when this is Cal's offense at its finest when they're doing this. Hitting the quick hitch, hitting the stuff on the outside, picking you apart in those short 5-step drops, and running the football. I expect to see Jeff Tedford get back to his running game. He's gotten away from it, trying to get his quarterback in rhythm here. But eventually they have to get back to that running game. It's a little pistol look right here.
Saffelli lined up behind the quarterback who goes out of the gun. That's the pistol look that Chris Ault at Nevada did so well. And the handoff to Saffelli, he slips the first man, but falls as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Conrad Obi on the stop for Colorado, putting good pressure on.
Great job by Obi, flashing across the center's face. Dominic Gallus there for California completely rerouted that run for the Bears. But Obi's a guy who really was just kind of a bit player on this team for 3 years. And all of a sudden this year, he's come on fire. They say he's turned into a beast at that nose guard position. He's really showed up. He's been a big part of that defense so far.
Maynard throws. This time he drills it between two defenders, and the catch made by his brother, Keenan Allen. John Major, really active outside linebacker like Major, already has a pick in this game.
Just watching so far Barry as a quarterback, having familiarity with the receiver can be a real benefit. It can also be a curse because you tend to lock in. It seems to me as I watch this game that Maynard has locked into his brother, Keenan Allen, out there. He needs to start making the reads as a quarterback, read the whole field rather than locking into just Keenan Allen.
Big play right here. 3rd down and 3 for the Bears. Out of the gun once again. Maynard steps up, throws to the sideline, incomplete, threw it right into the back of one of the Buffaloes. A flag is down, and I think this could go against Colorado. Greg Henderson was right there.
And a tough one if you're Greg Henderson, because Marvin Jones trying to go over the back for that ball. He's got it. You got to deliver the ball downfield. And you see those hands up in Marvin Jones' chest. That's where the pass interference comes in.
They're calling that a catch. And it sure didn't look like it.
I don't know who caught it.
I don't either. I mean, there's no way that was a catch.
That's not a catch. It's not a catch. It is pass interference.
Yes.
But it's not a catch because the receiver was forced out of bounds.
And now the referee is going to step into this fray.
Yeah, that is not a catch.
No.
But
I think they may be saying that the ball was intercepted.
And he's trying to explain it to Coach Embry as well. Because he forced him out of bounds, I'm guessing is the ruling.
Yeah, and he couldn't make the catch.
Oh, they said, okay, it was a catch. It was the interception. Got his feet inbounds, and instead, Cal gets the ball from the spot for the interception. That was the ruling. He got the interception there at the end.
Now they're going to march off the penalty.
They're going to get this right.
Eventually.
And Tedford's going to get him to get it right.
Well, Tedford would have been better off them getting it wrong because they signaled first down Cal.
And they signaled catch for Cal.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
The bottom line is it's going to be a first down at the 34-yard line. It's going to be a pass interference penalty against Colorado.
Exactly.
And our referee's microphone, incidentally, is not working. That's why we're having to do the explanation rather than the referee, Sean Huckley. First down Bears just short of the 34. So Fele comes in motion. Maynard, quick pass to Allen. Allen's going to throw again. Throws across the field. Is going to flag down. We're going to get a penalty against Cal. This is Maynard on the catch inside the 10-yard line. Might have fumbled the football, but the Bears get it back. But I think it's all for naught.
I love the play design with Keenan Allen, a great athlete at that wide receiver position. The throw back to the quarterback.
It's a 27-yard play, but and roughing the passer is the call.
And in this case,
but the passer was the receiver.
Allen, exactly. And that's what makes it tough because you have DBs now going to hit him. Throw the ball outside. Keenan Allen gets rid of it. Great play design. You get the personal foul. The automatic first down.
And Maynard took a pretty good shot down there at the 3-yard line, too. Well, the crowd is not happy here, and I suppose they have good reason not to be. A penalty took away an interception, and now another penalty on top of a 27-yard play.
Maynard, he's a guy we talked to, and he said he likes to get hit. He likes to get in the flow of things. Well, he took a good shot right there, Barry. If he needed to get hit to get into the game, that one should wake him up and should bring him into play.
Sean Hockley is coming over to talk to Jeff Tedford. That was or would have been the last play of the first quarter, but because there's a penalty, the quarter won't end.
Yeah, defensive penalty, you'll get one more play.
The bottom line, again, is that the Bears have it at the 3-yard line of Colorado, and John Embry looking on with disbelief. Three defensive penalties on this drive have helped the Bears immeasurably.
The camera crew and field crew here thinking that it was going to quarter, so they're out on the field.
Yeah. Oh, we've had a little something for everybody in this first quarter. Meantime, the Bears with a 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. Here's Cifelli, cuts it back, going to be stopped short at about the 1. And with that, we have officially reached the end of the first quarter. And it was a really interesting quarter, if a little bit sloppy. So we look ahead to the second quarter. The Bears will have it at the 1-yard line of the Colorado Buffaloes when second quarter action begins. Strange things seem to be happening here in Boulder. We're coming back right after this. And it is an active area, to be sure. We were down here last night, wall to wall.
First game in town. You had the marching band downtown. You had people everywhere. Classic college experience.
Less than a yard to go for a touchdown for California as we start the second quarter. And to give us the Cifelli stop for a loss by Douglas Rippey, who was right there.
And Rippey was the first name when we asked Jeff Tedford about who you liked on film. Douglas Rippey, number 3, shows up big time as you watch him. He's active. He's tough. He's a great run stopper. He can cover. He's a good-sized, physical linebacker, and he's the type of building block they needed that linebacker position inside.
And it is a 3rd down play now. Nico Dumont is in at the fullback spot for the Bears. Big play right here for California. Maynard looks to throw, goes to the end zone, throws underneath to Dumont. Touchdown, Bears. He had the man open deep in the end zone. He went to the under guy, the fullback, Dumont, and Dumont gets one of his first touches as a member of the Cal Bears and has his first touchdown.
Nice for your first touch to be a touchdown. Anthony Perkins was in coverage, and he's right in Dumont's hip pocket where he needs to be. But Dumont catches that ball, turns up just enough to cross that plane, and Zach Maynard has a touchdown pass today. The Bears hoping, at this point, have to be hoping that will settle them down on that offensive side.
And the kick is blocked. That's the 3rd one they've had blocked. They can return this, remember, and pick up a point, and drag down from behind is Travis Sandersfield. Obi was the guy that blocked the kick, and we'll have to take a look again. Tavecchio kicked 2 of them very low last week, and I'll tell you what, that's a problem that was existent last year and a problem that's rearing its ugly head again this year. We'll take a look at it when we come back. 14-14 remaining to be played, first half. Oh, Mike, let's see what happened to Giorgio Tavecchio.
Good spot, good snap, but good penetration by that defensive line. I believe it's Parachek breaking through the line and finding a seam. Last week, Tavecchio kicked 2 balls low, so low that they were easy blocks for Fresno State. You'll see here it coming off, that ball barely clearing his center. So this is a real problem for the Bears. A PAT has to be an automatic play for you. You have to expect 7 points for every touchdown. And if you're getting your PATs blocked, then you need to do some work on special teams.
I don't think there's any question about it. And this is the problem, as we said, that goes back to last year. Jones and Clemens will be the deep man to receive Tavecchio's kick. And And he hits this pretty good. And that drives Clemens back into the end zone. He won't come out with it. And the Buffs will start at their own 20-yard line. 6-3 ball game. So we'll see if that missed extra point becomes a factor later in this game.
The Buffs offense has been very efficient so far today, but they need to finish. That Cal scoring drive, 12 plays for 81 yards. But remember, a couple penalties helping them out there. They started to stutter again, but they got through it. Now Colorado needs to see if they can finish with the ball in their hands.
10 plays, 81 yards on that drive for the Bears, but they were aided by 3 penalties against Colorado. And, of course, the big play was a flea flicker for 27 yards. Hansen under center. Straight back. Throws over the middle. Catch is made, and slipping a tackle is Richardson. Still on his feet. 35 to the 36-yard line. And a pickup of 16 on first down. Sean Cattouse makes the stop.
A couple of very, very nice moves by Paul Richardson out there. Just a hitch on the outside. Easy throw for your quarterback. He makes the first man miss, Anthony, and then makes a couple more Bears miss before Cattouse could come over and finish it off. Excellent open field work by Paul Richardson.
So a first down at the 36-yard line. This time they stack 2 receivers to the left side of the field. Hansen goes from under center. And to give this time is straight ahead to Stewart. Stewart will pick up about 5 on first down. DJ Holt makes the stop, but a patchwork offensive line's doing a pretty darn good job for the Buffs. Here's the final at Mississippi State. Auburn goes in there and wins by 7, 41-34 over the 16th ranked team in America. Auburn coming so close to losing to Utah State.
Exactly. You go from being national champs to being out of the top 25 after week 1. They needed to get that win this week.
Second down and 4, and again, movement on the line. Ethan Atkins a little bit too anxious that time, and that's going to make it a 2nd and 9 now.
And this was part of the problem for Hawaii in the Hawaii game last week for Colorado. They had a lot of penalties that should not have been happening. You know, John Embry told us we're never going to be the most talented team on the field. So we need to win those positions that don't take talent. No dumb penalties. Don't make mistakes. Dumb penalties is one thing that's going to drive him crazy.
And there are the penalty numbers. I'm going to give this time to Stewart. Stewart gets about 2. Stop as he crossed the 38-yard line. DJ Holt was there with help from Trevor Guyton.
And a very good defensive front 7 for the Bears.
And now Ryan Danowitz is down for the Colorado Buffaloes. It was Danowitz who was playing the left tackle spot for Bakhtiari. So going from bad to worse here for the Colorado Buffaloes. They cannot afford any more injuries on the O-line.
Yeah, losing Bakhtiari, bad enough. Now you lose Ryan Danowitz as well. They had some real consistency going. They were moving people off the ball. They were getting it done. But now he's got the trainers out there looking at his right knee.
And that is not good. Danowitz, a California product from San Jacinto. Colorado always in years past used to recruit Southern California really well, and they kind of fell off the turnip truck as the years have gone by. But you have an idea now that they're in the Pac-12 conference that could be a factor again for them.
Absolutely. Everybody wants to recruit L.A. Eric Bieniemy from L.A. He recruits that area. He told us they're going to be going back hard into L.A. to try to recruit.
Well, join Cal football at AT&T Park this fall, presented by Bank of the West. Call 800-GO-BEARS or visit calbears.com to get your tickets today.
You know, California is such a wealth of football talent that all the coaches in the Pac-12 wanting to get in there trying to recruit.
They still tend to Danowitz, and it's going to give us a chance to jump off the track. 12:07 remaining to be played. First half, 6-3, Bears. We welcome you back. Barry Tompkins, Mike Pulaski, Kate Longworth. 3rd and long here for the Colorado Buffaloes. They have not yet converted a 3rd down situation today. They go out of the gun, 3 wideouts. Hansen rolling to his right. Now he has to buy some time, and he throws, and it is almost caught on a brilliant play, and now a flag.
Well, the referee's hats, the side judge's hat is off, meaning the receiver stepped out of bounds for one. The other one, McCain, outside linebacker, one of their rush specialists for the Bears. On the rush, tracking down Hansen from the backside.
A little conversation amongst the officials. And again, we will tell you that as of the moment, Sean Hockley's microphone is not working, so we'll try to interpret as best we can.
Illegal lineman downfield.
Penalty is declined. Bottom line is it's going to be 4th down. Here's another look.
So the initial discussion was the receiver's out of bounds. 3rd and long. He already stepped out. Incomplete pass, so that doesn't matter. Illegal lineman downfield. No reason to give back the down by taking the penalty. So the Bears decline the penalty and put in the punt return team.
So Marvin Jones will be the deep man for California to receive this punt. And Jones can scoot. On to do the punting for Colorado is Darrell O'Neal. Takes a couple of steps, kicks a twisting kick that will bounce at about the 28, take a sideways bounce out of bounds, and the Bears will have it at the 27-yard line. And a little exchange of words way downfield between the punter and one of the Cal interior linemen. 36-yard punt. The Bears will get it at the 27, and we'll get you down to the sideline once more. And Kate Longworth. Kate?
Well, Barry and Mike, it seems that the Bears are now finding a groove, but perhaps one of the things keeping them from finding that rhythm in the first quarter was the elements, most specifically being the altitude. Folsom Field is about a mile over sea level, and Coach Temperance said he expected altitude to be a factor in the first quarter. He said his players may be out of breath and a little bit more exhausted than usual, but he, as expected, he thought that by the second and third quarters, they would settle in there. And guys, speaking of this, just gets me out of breath. Take it away.
We thought it was us, Kate. Meantime, a pickup of about 3 on 1st down.
And Jeff Tedford usually so good at preparing teams for different situations for what they're going to see, and just told the kids, look, you're going to get winded. It's going to start off that way, but you have to play through it. And once you get used to it, you can play at altitude.
Allen comes in motion this time on 2nd down and 7. Maynard quick pass to Jones. Jones makes the catch, slips one tackler, and then is caught from behind as he crossed the 40-yard line. It'll be a California 1st down and a pickup of about 11.
He was trying to give you that video game highlight reel. He made 2 quick steps to the inside. He was going to throw the spin move on for his 3rd move. He's going to have one right there, a 2nd step to the inside. He was going for the spin. Sandersfield and Henderson both miss on the tackle, and pursuit from inside out. Derek Webb on the final tackle for Colorado.
Saw his numbers from last year. He is now over 100 catches in his career, 101 on that one. So Felly's got some room to the midfield stripe, 45-40, 35-30, and knocked out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. And a flag comes in. It's going to be a late hit.
And you cannot be making hits out of bounds. These are the dumb penalties that we talked about. Polk is supposed to be the leader on this defense. He is the guy back there the team is looking to be the quarterback of that free safety spot. You're going to see him come all the way across the field. And this is two steps out of bounds. He makes a hit. He did the same thing against Hawaii's quarterback, Moniz, last week, and picked up the penalty. One of the things about athletes and leaders is they don't make the same mistake twice. This is twice now in 2 weeks that Polk has picked up a personal foul for a late hit out of bounds.
And a costly one. This gives the Bears first down at the 15-yard line of the Buffaloes. Great block on that last play by the fullback Tyndall, incidentally. Here's a pitch to Cifelli, and Cifelli's going to throw it. And now he decides better of it, and he's dragged down for a big loss by Rippey all the way back at the 24-yard line. Loss of 9.
Nice job in coverage by Colorado. They stayed home, they played their assignments, and gave Rippey that extra step to get in pursuit. And again, we talked about Rippey earlier. Very active, very physical. immediately made the right first step and followed it up, found a crease, and chased down Sefele.
C.J. Anderson comes in the game at the tailback spot. He's somebody that Jeff Tedford said he wanted to take a good long look at. Maynard pulls it out. Now he's going to throws the ball away after 4 straight completions. First incomplete in a while for Maynard.
You're already in field goal territory. As a quarterback, you've got to make smart moves. You'd like to move the chains. You'd like to get the first down. But whatever you do, don't take yourself out of field goal range. So a smart play by Maynard to get out there. And right now, John Embry wants his defense to step up.
Buffaloes go with 6 defensive backs here, which they did a lot against Hawaii last week. They played a nickel or a dime almost the whole game. Made it difficult for California to scout them. Maynard steps up, throws to the end zone for Jones and missed him. And Maynard had to unload that ball, almost held it too long, and that's going to bring about the field goal team. And as we mentioned earlier, and I hate to keep belaboring this point, but this is an adventure for California.
Well, Maynard's 7-14 right now, but a Pac-12 quarterback has to be accurate. If he throws a good ball, he's got Jones for 6 points. He's got the touchdown. One-on-one read. Jones had the top shoulder of the DB. Maynard just missed him over the top. So far, he's not accurate in his passing today. And that's one of the things they need to work on with him, to make him accurate, to make him make those perfect throws.
Tavecchio, 39-yard effort. He got it up, he got it going, and he got it good. And the Bears add 3 more and make it a 9-3 ball game. 9:21 remaining, second quarter, and there was no doubt about that one from Tavecchio.
And as you pointed out, got the ball up right away off the kick. Maybe they need to have him take his long field goal swing at the PAT, because that ball got up right away. Meanwhile, his PATs have been coming off low. Maybe when he's going for that chip shot, they're coming off low.
Yeah, could be. Stand shoulder to shoulder with the Buffs by following them on Facebook and Twitter. Like Colorado Buffaloes on Facebook and follow at CU Buffs on Twitter to stay informed on all the latest CU news all season long. Boy, what a day here in Boulder, Colorado. This town, we talked about it earlier, was alive last night. First home game of the football season. Perfect weather conditions.
Yeah, I know. If I'd have gone to school here, I don't know how much time I would have spent indoors. Great fishing, skiing, outdoor sports all over this place. Wonderful campus and a wonderful location.
Last time I did a game here, though, I must tell you, I went through 4 seasons in the space of 3 hours.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, being on the backside of the Rockies.
Started at 65 degrees at kickoff, and it was a blizzard at the end of the game. Tavecchio's kick this time headed for Clemens, and I don't think he's going to bring this out, and he's not. So Tavecchio getting a lot of foot into the kickoffs. That last drive, 7 plays, 52 yards, again aided by a penalty. Sefele had a 29-yard run. That was the key play. And the Buffaloes will start once again at their own 20-yard line. 9-3 ball game, 9:21 remaining here in the first half. Barry Tompkins, Mike Pulaski, Kate Longworth here in Boulder. Might stay for a few days.
That's a lovely place. I'm actually going fishing tomorrow, Barry.
I know, you told me.
Have to take full advantage of our surroundings here.
So the Buffs start at the 20-yard line. The Bears have not had a big push on Tyler Hansen so far. Hansen, play fake, going to go up on first down, steps up, airs it out. It's a foot race. Richardson can't hold on the sideline. Had it in his hands, had his man beat, could not hold on.
It was actually a full stop and go. Paul Richardson stopped, turned around, looked for the ball, and then redirected upfield. Ran a very nice route. Mark Anthony doing a good job of actually staying home in coverage to be that close. But Richardson, you have to make that catch. Quarterback delivers it in your lap. As an offensive coordinator, you want that guy to make that catch. And Coach Bieniemy right now called the perfect play, dialed it up, but didn't get the payoff.
Yep, all but the payoff. They go into the I formation this time on 2nd down and 10. Hansen, give to Stewart. Stewart stutter steps, couldn't get to the hole. Stopped right at the 20-yard line. Michael Kendricks is right in his lap. Interesting numbers on Giorgio Tavecchio. He's perfect at field goal attempts this year, 2 of 2, but only 3 of 6 on extra point tries.
That's not a stat line you see very often for kickers. That fabulous turf. I think you could play down there in tennis shoes on this grass. It's just perfectly manicured. I can't tell you how nice that is. Golf courses around the country should come here to see how to take care of their grass.
3rd down and 10 now. You saw the 3rd down numbers on your screen a moment ago. Out of the gun, the Bears this time come with a blitz. Hansen has to roll away from pressure. Now a flag is down. That's going to be a hold. Hansen throws. Catch is made by Clemens, but I think it's going to come back.
Yeah, that's a big-time hold. That's a tackle by an offensive lineman. But the Bears covered that perfectly. Great play call on defense.
22-yard gain. And we'll see. It is a hold.
You see it coming off the left side of the line. David Wilkerson coming in on the push right here. And watch the hold, the grab. He's got Jersey, and everybody's going down. They got a couple holds, actually. There's a hold right behind him as well. So 2 holds on the play. Good call by the official.
Yeah. That's going to back up the Buffaloes another 10 yards.
And that's that defensive set where they bring in 2 outside backers and use those as rush men. I think the Bears, I don't know what to call it. They declined it.
Oh, it was also defensive holding. It was a double penalty. So it's basically what we got here is a do-over. 3rd down and 10. Underneath to Stewart. Stewart makes the catch, spins away from one man, has the first down across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Great effort by Stewart to escape the grasp of DJ Holt before being stopped by Sean Cattouse, but not before he picked up a first down. A gain of 12 on a nice play by Rodney Stewart.
And I think that's where Stewart can be so effective. Out of the backfield as a pass catcher, he's so quick, he can make the first guy miss. If you try to cover him with a linebacker, you have a mismatch in speed, and he can get those extra yards after the catch. I think it's well-designed play to use your tailback's tools.
Hansen, short drop and a throw to Clemens. Makes the catch, gets it going in the right direction to the 40-yard line. Stopped as he crosses the 40 by Steve Williams, but a gain of 9 on first down. Incidentally, Ryan Danowitz, who went out with what looked to be a more serious knee injury, is back on the field. Might have just been a cramp.
These guys wear braces. They tape them up. You try to protect those knees out there. It doesn't, it's a hot down in Boulder. This is a hot day. Could get crampy down on the field. But he's a guy that they can't afford to miss. He's already the second man at that position. 2nd down and 1. They give to Stewart again. Stewart will have the first down across the 45-yard line to the 46. And I'll tell you what, can't say enough about this Colorado offensive line. They're really doing a nice job. Getting the push. Inside, little power play. Mike Kendricks ending up with the tackle, but that initial push, moving that defensive line, and Cal has a very good defensive line. So for Colorado to move them off the ball, they're doing a very nice job inside.
Stewart now 9 carries, 29 yards. First down at the 46-yard line. In motion goes Dean. Now he comes back the other way. Play fake this time. Hansen rolls to his right. Has plenty of time. Throws. He's got Richardson, but he missed it.
Tyler Hansen is very good at the underneath ball, throwing the quick hits, the curl, some of the crossing routes. When it comes to throwing the deep ball, his accuracy suffers, and we've seen him miss a couple today. It's another one. This should be a pitch and catch, but he doesn't take into account his motion to the right. As he's rolling to the right, the ball's going to drift, and instead he aims for where the receiver's going. As a quarterback, you have to aim at the receiver, and your momentum will carry that ball out with you.
2nd down and 10. Hansen straight back again. Blitz comes, screen, good play. Stewart shakes the tackle at midfield, 45-40, down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line of the Bears. 3 times the Buffs have run that play. 3 times it's been successful.
Michael Kendricks had the tackle. He was there, and he missed it. Stewart ran through it, but a great job of getting your back again. getting the athlete out where he can make plays. Michael Kendrick could have made that tackle, didn't get it, and Stewart gets the extra yards after the catch. Cattouse and DJ Holt coming up to combine for the tackle.
First down in Bear territory at the 38-yard line, and the Buffs continue to move the ball. Stewart has now caught 4 balls for 58 yards. He's run for another 29. And now a timeout's going to be called by Colorado. With 5:47 remaining here in the first half, it's a 9-3 ball game. The Bears ahead of the Buffaloes. And the Bears not really getting any kind of a push on the quarterback here.
They haven't, and that's surprising after watching the game film from last week, University of Hawaii. Hawaii was getting upfield, getting after him. I talked to Clancy Pendergast yesterday. He said he was concerned about letting Hansen get outside. Sometimes when you start worrying about a quarterback escaping, your pass rush suffers for it. He's also not dialing up the same dogs and blitzes that he has in the past. They have a different scheme coming into this one. But right now, Colorado winning the battle up front and establishing that running game.
Well, you know, let me be devil's advocate. It looks to me as though Hansen is being allowed to get outside. He's rolling out on almost every pass play.
Because their run game is working so well, play action is allowing him to get out. If their run game is on, then their play action will be on. And that's why the run game is so good. It helps you in the passing game. He's getting out on those play action fakes because the Bears linebackers and D-line have to honor the fake.
So first down Buffs at the 38-yard line of the Bears. Play fake again. Hansen straight back. Plenty of time all day. Throws too tall. Intended for Clemens. Covered that time and covered pretty well by Steve Williams. But again, a good ball. Yeah. And that pass is completed.
And Hansen now having the confidence back to that position to sit back and take a look at his routes. When you deliver a ball to a receiver at this level, you expect him to make a catch. That's why they are D1 now, Pac-12 receivers. Those guys have to make the catch if they can put their hands on it.
Second down and 10 at the 38-yard line. Hansen give to Stewart, not this time. Right there to bust it up as Kendrick Payne made a nice tackle. He was being blocked and still managed to get him down.
Going back to the well again, trying to run that power by Colorado. Penetration kills your running game anytime. That Kendrick Payne got great penetration on that play upfield to disrupt it and make the tackle.
So another third down situation. They're just 1 of 4 in third down conversions. And again, they look at a third and long. They need 13. They go out of the gun this time. And the pass to Stewart. Stewart this time trips as he gets started. Might have had enough where he able to keep his feet.
Sorry about that, Barry. Third and long. Clancy Pendergast dials up pressure. David Wilkerson coming on the inside. Michael Kendricks coming on, starting off, looking inside, trying to confuse the quarterback, ending up on the tackle. But you dial up the blitz to try to get the quarterback to throw hot to keep them from getting the big first down play.
52-yard field goal try coming up here by Will Oliver, and he's got plenty of leg. And he hit this pretty good. It's on its way, and it is good. And he had some room to spare. And that should be a real lift for these Colorado fans. They cut the Bears lead to 3. 4:18 remaining to be played first half. 9-6 ball game. The Bears over the Buffs. We're coming back. We welcome you back. It's a 9-6 ball game. And that is Chip, the not real Buffalo, urging the fans on here. 52-yard field goal by that guy right there. 11 plays, 46 yards. Only 2 rushing yards on that drive, interestingly enough. So Edmond and Sofele will be the deep men for California once again. Driving kickoff this time. Edmond handles about 2 deep. He's going to come out again. Starts one way, comes back the other, gets a little gap at the 20, and loses the football, but he'll gather it back at the 25-yard line. And a flag is down once again. Last drive, Rodney Stewart, even though he didn't run the ball, did a lot of damage in the air.
Well, they found their mismatch. They didn't feel they matched up very well on the outside because Cal's defense is so fast at the corner position. But where they do match up well is the speed of Rodney Stewart versus the linebackers for Cal. And you ran him hard to drive before, you come back and you get him out on the little quick release patterns. You get him on the flares. You hit him on the seam in the middle and let him work his feet against the linebackers. And that is a great game plan because they're using their best asset in running back Rodney Stewart, both in the running game and the passing game.
Offsetting penalties on that kickoff, so I think we're going to do this all over again here. Edmond found a little gap, didn't get to it quite as quick as he would have needed to.
They were trying to give that look where they were setting up the return to the field and to cut back to the boundary where he's looking for a wall. But Colorado doing a nice job of sniffing it out. The trick to special teams, and especially kickoff cover, is for guys to play assignments and to run their lanes. It's when guys get out of their lane that they get in trouble.
Here's the numbers on Rodney Stewart, and he's, they're not going to knock your lights out, but he has been big in big situations. Caught 5 balls for 65 yards, and most of them coming in crucial situations.
But he's done enough in the running game to establish the play-action pass as well. The Bears have to honor the running game right now, and that's opening him up and opening up receivers in the play-action.
So again, Edmond and Sofele, the deep man for California, to receive his kick of Justin Castor. Castor short kick this time. And Edmond runs up, takes it at the 11-yard line. Right back up the middle of the field, breaks one tackle, gets the outside. He's the 30, 35, dragged down from behind as he gets to the 38-yard line by Greg Henderson. So a good return of the Bears with good field position and plenty of time. 4:02 remaining first half. Bears have scored in their last 2 possessions, a touchdown and a field goal.
And now they need to come out and see if they could get into that rhythm where it's not penalties, where they can actually execute their plays down the field. Maynard has to be more accurate with the ball. Sofele has to hit the hole hard. That big offensive line has to open up holes. They need to get to doing what they think they do best, and that's executing.
Best starting position all day offensively for the Bears. Sofele on a cutback across the 40 to about the 41. He got about 3. Douglas Rippey again on the stop, and Rippey's been all around the ball all day long.
Very active linebacker on the inside. Guy that Greg Brown likes a lot up there. So he's a really smart player for him. He has good instincts running to the football, and we've seen him. He's been around the ball all day today.
2nd down and 7. They spread it out this time from the numbers to the numbers. Maynard has to unload, and Jones cut it one way, and Maynard threw it the other, and Maynard took a pretty good shot, too. David Goldberg was coming and got right up under the pads of Zach Maynard.
And Maynard had one-on-one matches across the board, except for the area that he threw the ball. He's got to make his reads on the inside. Pressure is how you get man-to-man coverage, and that time Colorado bringing pressure on Maynard. You just have to find the matchup, as David Goldberg delivered the big blow at the end. Find your matchup. If you're going to pay for something big.
And the Bears in the 3rd and 7. And the Buffalo show blitz with the empty backfield again. They come with the blitz. Maynard rolls out, throws against the grain. Allen's got it to 40, 35-30 to the 25 and out of bounds. And that's the price you pay when you bring the house.
Exactly. If you want to bring pressure, you have to lock up in man-to-man coverage. That time Parker Orms was trying to run with Keenan Allen. I think stride for stride, Keenan Allen is a faster sprinter. But what makes this play is Keenan Allen keeps coming across. He works the scramble drill. He sees his brother, Zach Maynard, in trouble, and he mirrors his quarterback across the field and gives him an opportunity to deliver the ball.
37 yards on the play, and the Bears in business at the 22-yard line of Colorado. 2:59 remaining first half. Bears go out of the I formation. And the give is to Sofele. Sofele up the middle, and he stopped as he gets the 20-yard line. Pickup of about 2, and once again, guess who? Douglas Rippey on the stop.
right there to put enough of an arm on Ciffelli to slow him down and let the rest of that defense come and finish him off. But Rippey has a nose for the football. We've seen him around the ball all day long, and he's finding a way to find that crease, to make the hit, to make the play. Definitely going to be one of the stars for this Colorado defense this year.
C.J. Anderson in the ballgame now at tailback for the Bears. As Ciffelli gets a blow, 2nd down and 8. And the give is to Anderson, and Anderson gets a gap, gets down to the 10-yard line, still on his feet, drives to the 7-yard line, and a 1st down for the Bears.
And Anderson brings something that the other backs for Cal don't, and that is size.
215 pounds. He's a transfer from Laney College, and he did not have benefit of being in spring ball, so really he's just kind of getting into the flow of things here.
And he can handle the running game right now, but you have to have a versatile back in this offense. He needs to get the schemes down in blocking a little better to see more time on the field.
And the give again to Anderson. Nothing doing this time. Drop for a loss. John Major, first man to him.
Greg Brown, defensive coordinator for the Buffs. I love it. The coach is wearing different colors. You always get your guys calling the plays out there in different colors than the other guys. Greg wearing his yellow shirt today. But he's got a defense. He loves the chemistry here. He told us that this team has such a good attitude, such a good chemistry on the defensive side of the ball. It's just a joy to coach every day. Now he's looking for them to step up to the next level. Not just be a joy to coach, but to be an aggressive, tough defense who makes plays when they have to.
And the Bears will call a timeout. 1:18 remaining here in the first half. The Bears will still have 2 timeouts remaining. So they'll try to manage the clock and score is the bottom line here.
And exactly, if they want to finish, they want to run as much time off the clock as they can. Just 2nd down. You know, they'll take the immediate touchdown if they get it. But if they can burn some of that time off and not have to face, you know, a couple play drive or give Colorado that opportunity to get the ball back, they'll do it.
Well, the next home game for the Cal Bears is next week. It'll be Presbyterian College coming to, well, they're coming to San Francisco, not to Berkeley. Bears' first game at AT&T Park. It's next Saturday, the 17th, 2:30. Call 800-GO-BEARS or visit calbears.com for tickets. The Bears versus Presbyterian. That's a game they normally would not have scheduled, but they had a hole in their schedule. Presbyterian had a game, did not have a game, wanted a game. And it all counts the same as any other game. You can play one Division I AA team. Maynard this time on a bootleg, throws to the end zone, wide open. Miller makes the catch for the touchdown, a one-handed grab.
You better make that one.
Yeah,
wide open in the back of the end zone. He goes up with the big right paw and slaps it out of the air and then tucks it away with 2.
That was a great catch off a not very well thrown ball.
And Maynard actually has Keenan Allen up front and delivers the ball a little bit high. Miller going up with one hand to knock it down and catching it with 2. It's funny how guys can always concentrate on the tough ball, isn't it?
Isn't that amazing? Tavecchio to try it all over again, and this time he gets it up and gets it through, and the Bears lead it 16-6 with 1 minute and 13 seconds remaining to be played here in the first half.
Yeah, I always laughed as a quarterback. You throw that perfect ball, and we saw it happen to Anthony Miller. We saw it happen to Marvin Jones earlier. Perfect ball, you turn your head, try to make a play, but then you throw that tough one, the one that's going to be difficult to catch, and these guys focus. You watch his eyes all the way to his hand. Ball coming in, and Zach couldn't be happier. Finally got that off his back, threw the nice touchdown pass, executed the offense like they were supposed to that time.
Yeah, that was very efficient. Good, managed the clock very well. 7 plays, 62 yards, took 2:49 off the clock. 37-yard 3rd down pass was the big play to Keenan Allen.
And that's where that familiarity, that's where that comfort with the receiver and quarterback come in. Keenan Allen saw Maynard start to scramble. He understands his body movement. He saw as soon as he took off, he just mirrored him across the field. That was the play that made the difference in the drive.
So Jones and Clemens will be the deep man for Colorado to receive Tavecchio's kick here. He's got a lot of leg into his kickoffs. 2 touchbacks, his last 2. And he drives this one pretty well, too. There won't be a return of this either. Out of the back of the end zone. So Giorgio has apparently gotten a wake-up call here.
Well, his PAT, he almost kicked out of the back of the stadium as well.
He did. And he nailed the 38-yard field goal. So the Buffaloes will have 1 minute and 13 seconds to try to at least get something on the board before the end of the half, but we'll see how they play it. Bears hustling people on and off. They have been really rotating down linemen all day long. This time they put Stewart up on the wing. Hansen straight back. With time, now he runs out of time and throws at the feet of Stewart, incomplete.
The Bears going with that nickel package where they stand up 2 outside linebackers to rush along with 2 defensive linemen inside. 5 DBs in the game. Trying to make sure they don't let anything deep, anything get behind them.
Yeah, they play David Wilkerson and Chris McCain. Both long-arm guys, both pass rushers. Guyton and Owusu, the down lineman. And they give to Stewart. Stewart caught from behind. A nice play defensively by Chris McCain, the freshman.
And that shows you a little bit of why they like this kid so much. They're really high on Chris McCain. I think he could get a little more stout on point of attack, but you look at him, he's still incredibly long, kind of thin for his size right now. But he has so much speed, so much athletic ability. They love the way he pursues the ball. They love the way he rushes the passer.
So a third down play here with 38 seconds remaining. Only 1 of 5 on third downs. And again, somebody left a little bit early.
The whole left side of that offensive line was moving. And so you wonder if that was on the center. They rotate centers at Colorado.
False start. Offense. By rule, that foul requires a 10-second subtraction from the game clock. Timer, please run 10 seconds from the game clock.
And that's the first time that we've seen that this year. The 10-second runoff. In the last minute of a half, if there is a penalty that stops the clock, they will automatically run 10 seconds off the clock.
So now 25 seconds remaining here in the half. See the penalties there. Bears have not yet had a penalty. Stewart on the carry is going to get a first down. Across the 30 to the 33-yard line.
Which will also stop the clock. If they want to get one more play, they can.
And they will call a timeout here. And take one more shot. Well, the Bears have scored their last 3 possessions. Still being played like an early season game.
There's some roughness on both sides of the ball. We're seeing it in penalties for Colorado. We're seeing it in misfires for Cal. These are the things that championship teams have to correct and move on. If you expect to make any noise, then you can only make the mistake once. You can't make it the second time. And it's those teams that are very talented but never live up to expectations. It's because they continue to make mistakes. The Bears need to clean up their mistakes. The Buffs need to clean up their mistakes if they want to be any threat in the Pac-12.
And again, we say both these teams now in the Pac-12 conference. If this game was the conclusion of a home-and-home series, and again, leaving early, might have been Danowitz.
And that should end the game.
53, 5 yards, still first down. Please reset the game clock to 9 seconds.
Clock wasn't running. That's why the clock was not
Dead
running.
ball.
So they won't run off at 10 seconds.
Please, thank you.
But that's where it gets dicey with that new 10-second runoff.
It does.
Rule. Not so much in the first half because you got another half to play, but at the end of the game, that 10-second runoff is going to cost somebody a game this year.
There's no question. Jeff Tedford was talking to us about that in the second half. It becomes extremely important to save your timeouts. So Hansen steps up, buys time, throws it out there for Richardson, who makes the catch and is down at the 43-yard line. And there's still 2 seconds left, so they're going to have another play here.
They've got to move the chains, and to move the chains, it's going to stop the clock. So they got to get a snap off. He will wind that as soon as the chains are set.
And they do spike it with 1 second left. Good job by the Buffaloes. Getting up on the ball, getting the ball snapped. It gives them one more shot.
good clock management and good discipline. Again, that's where that 10-second runoff comes in. If they're offsides or if anybody moves, that ends the half.
It's a 61-yard field goal from here, and remember, Oliver stuck a 52-yarder with plenty to spare, but Buffs are not going to go in that direction. They're just going to try to air it out here.
But they did bring Tyler McCulloch in the game, who was their big receiver at 6'5", 205.
And Hansen, now he's in trouble. Now he buys some time. And he just winds up, throws it as far as he can, gets it to the end zone, and the ball is knocked down. And that's the way the first half will come to an end. Not with a whimper, but with a bang. Mark Anthony got really wrecked on that last hit, and he is slow to get up. He is down and slow to get up right at the goal line.
He and DJ Campbell both went for that ball in the air, and sometimes that's the most dangerous play. When you leave your feet going after a ball, bringing momentum, they both put a big hit on each other.
So we'll, of course, keep an eye on him. And right now, let's take you down to the field where Kate Longworth is with Jeff Tedford.
Well, Coach, in that final drive for the team, they settled in. And what progression did you see from the offense and Maynard's leadership from the start of the game to that final drive?
What did I see?
What leadership and progression?
Oh, yeah. No, he's doing a nice job, actually. It's a hostile environment, and he's handled the huddle very well, and it's all going fine. He's done a good job.
And it's still a very close game. What adjustments do you make, if any, the second half, and what do you carry over from that first half?
Well, we'll go in and talk about it. We'll get together as a staff, and we'll talk about some of the adjustments we need to make. We're moving the ball decently. Got to make sure we convert on third down, stay away from any negative plays, and then when we get in the red zone, score touchdowns.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Go join your team. Coach Tedford takes the lead into the locker room right now. 16-6, Bears over the Buffs, but still very loud down here field level.
All right, thanks very much, Kate. And that field goal of 52 yards put points on the board for Colorado, but the Bears scored their last 3 possessions. Halftime activities coming up. Today's first half stats are brought to you by RBC Wealth Management, investing in our communities for over a century. And the numbers right now, oddly enough, offensively, the Buffs doing a little bit more than the Bears.
Yeah, especially in the passing game. You expected to see them. They did establish a run game early on, but then they went to the quick stuff, the dump stuff at Stewart that we saw. Both teams equal first downs, and time of possession actually pretty close in this game. Both teams executing. Whoever cleans up the best is going to take advantage of this game.
We welcome you back to Folsom Field here in Boulder, Colorado. 16-6 ball game as we prepare to start the second half. The California Golden Bears out in front of the Colorado Buffaloes, but still a game that is very much up for grabs, as we said. What's happening around and about the Pac-12? Well, let's take a look at games in progress, finished, and a couple that are finished as of last night. But last night, Oklahoma State just all over Arizona. They win at 37-14. ASU got taken to overtime after having a 2-touchdown lead with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. They come back, they'll hold on and win it 37-30. Osweiler, you see, 353 yards passing. Wisconsin just all over Oregon State. Games going on currently at the half. Stanford playing back at Duke, 17-7, the number 5 team in the country. Washington State's out in front. That game now 14-0 over UNLV. Oregon puts 41 on Nevada in the first half, and Washington went out to a 28-0 lead. Hawaii has come back with a couple of touchdowns in that game.
Pac-12 having a little bit of a rough start early on, but teams showing up here for the second week of the season. And that Arizona State game last night, that was an absolute thriller.
Yeah, terrific football game. Tony Jones and Tony Clemens will be the deep man to receive this kick. I think this is really an important drive for the Colorado Buffaloes. Tavecchio has put it in the end zone and not allowed so much as a run back in this game. Drives this one pretty good too. And I don't think this one's going to be returned all the way out of the back of the end zone. So Giorgio Tavecchio showing a pretty good leg.
One of the things the Bears have to battle now is coming back out of the locker room. We talked about being almost a mile high up here. They're playing at altitude. And you think about it, when you go up to the mountains, you get up there, the afternoons, you get kind of that lag, it's lack of oxygen. You go into the locker room during game at altitude, and you settle down, and you really kind of settle out. They need to get back into this game. They need to get the energy level up right away, because this is where teams that play at altitude can take advantage, is coming out of the locker room in the second half.
Incidentally, Mark Anthony, who was injured on the last play of the first half, is in the ball game at his cornerback spot. First down, Colorado at the 20-yard line. Play fake and a naked boot and a throw underneath. The catch made by D, and it's exactly the way they started the drive.
Only this time they completed it.
That's
Remember,
right.
on that first drive, they missed it with the pass over the head. Hansen has settled down at this point. He came back out, delivered the pass, but just a natural progression in that pro-style offense. You're in the front side zone. You come back out in the play action, fake the front side zone, come back out in the naked boot. Just a classic West Coast style of offense.
Second down and 8 now for the Buffaloes. Straight back, short drop. Hansen looks over the middle, and it bounces right out of the hands of Tyler McCulloch. Gives us a chance to go down to the sideline. Kate Longworth had a chance to catch up with John Embry. What did he have to say, Kate?
Well, Barry, he said his team did a great job running the ball in the first half, but now he wants to see them finishing drives as far as defense was concerned. He's thought that they held their edge, but now he wants to see them contain the ball even better. And he broke it down to me pretty simply. He said, we need to get touchdowns instead of field goals, and we will win this game. Of course, coach is looking for his first victory as a head coach, and wouldn't it be something for him if it came in front of this home crowd?
Yeah, and a good philosophy. Score touchdowns. Oftentimes you win games when you do that. Here's Hansen to throw again. A slant, a catch made by Richardson. Richardson slips a tackle and then is cracked right at about the 30-yard line. I don't know if he's going to get enough for the first down. Josh Hill finally put the finishing touches on it.
Just a trail route by Richardson, coming off, trying to force pressure on one man, make the defense make a decision late. He gets inside and makes the first man miss.
It's going to be fourth down, and John Embry giving every indication that he is going to go for it. And it looks like Richardson may have been dinged up a little bit.
One of those things about Paul Richardson, 6'1", only 165 pounds.
This is a real risk right here. And they go with a sneak and maybe second effort. Maybe second effort.
The officials running out for the spot are across the 30-yard line. It was only second effort because he was stopped cold on his initial push.
They had not converted a fourth down play this season prior to that. And a good second effort, as you said, by Tyler Hansen.
And that one's scary. Down on your own 30. And that's a gut check. That's for your offensive line right there. It's a gut check. Can we move them off of the football? Coming back out, they moved them so well in the first half, they got just enough yardage for the first down.
Out of the I formation, they've been Gray in motion. The pitch to Stewart. Stewart trying to get to the edge, cuts it upfield, gets to about the 35. DJ Holt fingertip tackle after a gain of 5.
Nice job of Logan Gray at that receiver position, coming back downhill and making the seal block. One of the rules that they're trying to crack down on this year is that receiver from coming down from the outside, blocking and blocking below the waist, the crackback or the cut block coming inside. The officials looking for it. Logan did a good job staying up top and sealing the edge.
Second down, a long 5 for the Buffaloes. Hansen, short drop again, throws, catch made by McCulloch, first down. In front of Mark Anthony, nothing fancy, just pitch and catch.
And that was the old motto of that West Coast style. A 4-yard reception, a 6-yard reception is every bit as good as a 4 or 6-yard run. As long as you're moving the chains, as long as you're keeping momentum, it's a way to dink and dunk down the field. You don't have to go for the home run every time in the passing game. You can use your run game or your pass game as your running game.
This time they split D and the tight end to the near side. And they throw to Richardson. Richardson behind a D and block. Midfield 45. And a saving tackle at the 40-yard line by DJ Campbell.
Absolutely exploded upfield. D, the starting tight end for the Buffs, maintaining his block, but Richardson using it. Textbook. You start to the outside, try to get the defense to bite, and then you come back inside. When you throw that receiver screen, that is how you draw it on the whiteboard.
So a first down for the Buffs, the 39-yard line of the Bears. Effective first drive in the second half. Here's Hansen rolling to his right. Has a lot of time. trying to get his man to go downfield, Stewart, and he didn't do it. And Hansen has no choice but to just take it out of bounds and get something out of nothing. He got about 2.
Good job. Great decision by a quarterback. Both of his men were covered in that route. You don't want to come back and try to force anything. He just continues to run outside. And Eric Bieniemy dialing it up from the booth. You get the running game going, then you run play action off the running game, and you hope your quarterback makes smart decisions.
Second down and 7. I'll call it 8. Give this time is to Stewart, nothing doing. Slowed in the backfield by Camporelli and then finally put down after, I don't even think he got a yard. No gain on the play.
Excellent penetration and a great job of collapsing the line of scrimmage by the Bears, shortening the edge. They're trying to get that push upfield. Aaron Tapote on that defensive line. One of the many bodies they have that they can continue to mix in. They're so deep up front.
3 wideouts this time. They bring Gray in the slot to the near side, slotted inside of Richardson. McCulloch to the far side. Hansen straight back. Blitz comes. They pick it up over the middle. That's Dean at the 10, the 5. Touchdown Buffaloes.
And that is strictly a blown coverage. Somebody made a mental mistake and did not man up. Dean is wide open. See DJ Holt and Michael Kendrick out there both had responsibilities for the inside releaser. They got confused. Michael Kendrick let him run. DJ Holt was out of position. And Dean was just on a walk in the park down the center of the field.
Try for point, and this to make it a 3-point ball game. It is up, it is good, and Colorado does exactly what John Embry told Kate Longworth they needed to do. Have a drive, finish the drive, score touchdowns.
Touchdowns are so much better than field goals. That gives them momentum coming back. The Bears have to answer when we see them coming back on the backside of the score.
Well, an 80-yard drive engineered by that guy right there. 16-13 ball game, 10-play drive, took 4.5 minutes. Hansen was 5 of 6 on the drive for 70 yards, and they did everything right.
Exactly right, and they finished. The big thing that John Embry told us is he wanted to finish and had to score touchdowns. They did that and came out and made a statement to open the third quarter.
Oliver's kickoff, a short kick. Edmond runs up, takes it at the 6-yard line. Edmond to the 10, runs into traffic, now gets a little gap to the 20, gets it ahead about the 26-yard line, and that's where the Bears will start for the first time in the second half. Let's take a look at how the Bears compared offensively against Fresno State to this week. They put 36 on the board. Of course, that's a game total. Today's are a half total. Rushing yards are comparable. In fact, everything's comparable. Just about the same kind of performance this week as last. But last week, the Bears held Fresno State to 204 yards of total offense, and Colorado's got 320 right now. Here's Cerfelli on the first snap, and Cerfelli falls forward to the 29, a gain of 3. John Major on the tackle for the Buffs.
And the Bears offense right now, they've moved the ball, they've gotten down the field, but they have yet to really, truly establish a rhythm in this game. I guarantee you they went into halftime, said, execute what we call to perfection, establish some kind of rhythm for us, and let's get this moving and control the clock.
Maurice Harris, another one of the Greensboro connections in the ball game for the first time. And somebody moved. That's going to be a procedure call. It's going to be the first penalty against California.
Still second down.
And to start off an offensive series with a procedure penalty is not what Jeff Tedford is looking for. Again, execution has to be perfect on offense. The thing that gives you the advantage is you know what you're about to do. They don't. When you give up execution, you give that advantage back to the D.
4 wide receivers, single setback. First California penalty, as we've said. Maynard straight back, got time. Now he has to roll away from pressure. Now he's in trouble, and he throws it. It's caught by Miller and dropped. So it's just going to go as an incomplete pass, but it was an adventure. And Travis Sandersfield was right there covering Miller.
And it seems that the game is happening a little fast for Zach Maynard right now. He's locked into one receiver, and when he doesn't get his receiver, he immediately scrambles. At that quarterback position, you have to be able to come off your first guy, keep your feet active, but not become a runner. One thing he did well last week is have the timing of when to run. This week he seems a little more shaky.
Bears looking at a 3rd and long. They're 3 of 5 in third down conversions. Maynard has to step up. Throws incomplete off the hands of Miller. And that speaks to exactly what you were talking about before. You make the impossible catch, but one that's on your fingertips, you miss.
And that's the second one for Anthony Miller. He had 2 easy catches. You have to watch that ball all the way in, and you drill it every day in practice. I mean, everything about being a pass catcher is drilled into watching that ball in, ensuring the catch, making sure that you have it. And then the game comes, and you insert adrenaline, and all of a sudden things change. Anthony Miller is a fine pass catcher, but today he's dropped 2.
Great start to the second half for the Buffs. They score. They get the Bears 3 and out. Brian Anger comes on to punt. Richardson, deep man, stands right now at about the 30-yard line. They come after it, and they get Anger, and they don't get the ball, and that's going to be a penalty. And I'm not sure that that's just a running into the kicker penalty. If it's a roughing penalty, it's going to be a first down for the Bears.
That has to be a full roughing penalty. Unless that ball was tipped, and I did not see a tip. Paul Vigo came in and took Anger off of his feet. That's a roughing.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker on the defense, number 32. 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
That's a huge break for California.
Anger just gets it off. That ball almost blocked, but literally Vigo coming through his plant leg, and the punter is so vulnerable, which is why they put that penalty in. Incredibly unsafe play, aggressive by Vigo, but dangerous for the punter.
So the Bears catch a huge break here. Instead of giving the ball back to Colorado, coming off a Colorado touchdown, they get a first down at the 39-yard line. Maynard on a design run doesn't get much, about 2. Douglas Rippey putting pressure on again, and Parker Orms making the tackle. Rippey's having a huge game.
He has been all over the field today in the middle linebacker position of this defense, trying to design it so that he gets available to make plays, use that defensive line to keep the offensive linemen off your linebackers and allow the athletes to run. And he's been the guy that's been the benefactor of that defensive scheme.
He's the cousin of Rodney Stewart, as a matter of fact, so they're keeping it in the family here. 2 of the stars of the game. They bring Allen to the near side. Maynard straight back. Blitz comes. He's in trouble, and he is rocked all the way back at the 28-yard line. Huge loss. Chidera Uzo-Duribe, who Jeff Tedford said, I like that guy. Doesn't like him right now.
No, he doesn't like him right now, but when he shows up on film as a coach, you have to appreciate his athletic ability. Great job coming off that outside. Actually got away from the hold and came up. They'll probably credit him with half a sack, but that sack is completely his. He made that happen.
Loss of 13.
And they expected to see some pressure. They expected to see that dog blitz package. Right now, Colorado's defense executing far better than Cal's offense.
And a timeout has to be called by the Bears. And this is exactly what we were talking about earlier. Jeff Tedford was, when we were chatting with him last week, he told us that you can't use timeouts up early in the second half. Well, guess what? Just about 8 minutes into the second half, he has to use his first of 3. We're coming back. Bears lead it by 3, but it is a very precarious 3 as Colorado scored on its first drive of the game. The Bears were 3 and out, but got benefit of a roughing the kicker penalty, and now they face a 3rd and 21 once again. Marvin Jones only 2 catches today after 5 for 118 yards. In last week's game against Fresno State, they're going to run it with Sofeli. Sofeli will pick up some yardage, but he's going to be well short of the first down. Gets it to about the 41. The Bears will have to give it up.
And just a safe play for California. Advance the ball as much as possible. But you have a weapon in Brian Anger. Let him kick it away and play the field position game at this point. But Colorado's defense, very impressive coming out of the locker room in the second half.
Absolutely. And the offense, for that matter.
Yeah.
Richardson, deep man. Anger once again to punt. Anger really hits this one. And Richardson's going to let it go, and it's going to go almost out of the end zone. Anger hit it a little bit too good.
Wow.
59-yard punt. 56 would have been a little better. And we'll jump off the track. 6:43 remaining to be played here in the third quarter. Buffs have it back. They trail by 3. Welcome back. 6:43 remaining third quarter. Colorado will have it for only the second time. The first time they drove 80 yards and scored to cut the lead to 3. Tyler Hansen under center. They go out of the I formation on first down. Play fake. Hansen's going to go up. He's going to go deep. He's got a man, but he missed him. Richardson was out in front yet another time. Seems like he's been there all day.
And again, the deep ball haunting Hansen. But, you know, I talked about coming out of the halftime and the altitude being a factor. The first 2 series, both offensively and defensively, for the Bears, they've seemed a step behind. And I do think the altitude's having some effect on them. That's where they talk about disciplined, mentally tough teams. You have to overcome that, and you have to play at speed regardless of how bad your lungs burn.
Second down and 10. This time they bring Stewart in motion. Now they've thrown to him out of this set almost every time. Hansen this time throws the other way to McCulloch, and he threw it behind him.
He's done that a couple times, throwing back to his left now. He's got to get his hips open and deliver that ball outside to his receivers.
Watch the shot that Hansen takes after he unloads the ball.
That's always a fun part of being a quarterback, because you're relaxed, and Dan Camparelli comes in and gives you a little, how you doing from the backside.
Good to see you. So now third down and 10. Hansen out of the gun this time. Straight back, and that screen bounces off the hands of Stewart. And that play wasn't going to go far, but it has been their most successful and consistent play today.
Bears finally finding a way to track it down. Ethan Atkins out in front trying to block. Ball coming off of Stewart's hands into Atkins, and the ball staying up in the air for a rather long time. If you're an offensive coordinator, you're just hoping that ball gets down in a hurry. But a nice job in pursuit by the Bears, finding a way to shut down a play that's been so effective for Colorado.
So Darrell O'Neal will come on to do the punting for the Buffaloes on 4th and 10. And the Bears will get it back. Jones, the deep man for California. They come after this one, but he was blocked into the punter. There's not going to be a flag. The crowd wants a flag. They're not going to get it. And I think he might have gotten a piece of that ball also. So a very short punt to start with. Calvin and McGovern were both coming hard, and there was no flag.
The crowd wants it, but the referee signaled right away that ball was tipped.
Yep.
As soon as that ball is tipped, all bets are off. You can hit the kicker. So they got just enough of it to keep that from being a roughing. But what it will do is put the thought in his head next time.
Only a 15-yard punt. John Embry is incensed. And I think it was Calvin that got a little piece of it.
And Embry didn't see it. He is mad. Young coach. Everything that happened with Brian Kelly last week, you got to hold it together.
Here's another look. And there you can see it.
You can see it. Ball's deflected, came out to the side.
Not sure if it was McGovern or Calvin, one of the two. And there's a pass incomplete, way too tall, intended for Michael Calvin.
And the whole stadium, nobody here liked that call. The hometown crowd, very unhappy, and you can hear it.
And it was the right call.
No, absolutely the right call.
Second down and 10. Meantime, the Cal offense really sputtering here. Play fake. Maynard's going to go up again. Now he might look to run. He throws over the middle. Catch made. Flag down. Keenan Allen has a first down, but there's a flag down right in the middle of the field.
And Polk, again, you see the late shot there to the helmet of Keenan Allen. And with the crowd getting into it, it can start to get a little emotional.
On the offense, number 80. 10 yards from the previous spot.
And Anthony Miller, false start.
It's a holding call.
You see him get hooked up in there, get his hand up inside.
So instead of a first down, the Bears will be looking at a 2nd and 20. And mistakes starting to creep in. Hagan this time comes split to the near side, and Miller, the tight end, is slotted. Now Hagan flops to the other side. And they just get the playoff. Maynard throws over the middle. Jones has it. First down, Bears at the 24-yard line. Ray Polk on the tackle, but a perfectly thrown ball and a nice grab by Jones, gain of 21.
This time Maynard steps back, sets his feet, and delivers a strike through a nice seam ball last week, too. That's what he needs to start doing, having the confidence in his ability to make that pass. That thing was on a rope. As a quarterback, you need to shake everything else off and start delivering strikes. If he continues to do that, this offense will move.
First down at the 24-yard line. Maynard under center. Give to Sofele, and Sofele caught just as he got started, but picked up about 4. Derek Webb on the tackle for Colorado.
And the Bears starting to get a little push up front with that offensive line. They had the initial play action. If it weren't for the penalty, they had that open. You see him moving, protecting in the passing game, and now coming back and driving that defensive line for Colorado a little bit. Again, that's the part I was talking about earlier, having to be mentally tough. Yeah, your lungs burn, you're tired, but you still got to suck it up and you got to finish.
Second down and 6. Jones to the near side, Allen the far side. Maynard back to pass with time, throws, floats it for Miller, makes the catch at the 10, to the 5, taking people with him, touchdown! And he took Patrick Mankey with him for 10 yards.
Anthony Miller, 6'4", 260 pounds. A big man at that tight end position. Mankey giving up 50 pounds. And Miller essentially said, come here, get on my back and ride me all the way to the end zone, because that's where we're going. He was not going to be denied. A nice play design. Half roll to the left, throw back to the tight end out of the backfield. And the Bears executed, and now they finished the drive.
Tavecchio's try for point is up, and it is good, and the Bears have once again taken a 10-point lead. They lead it 23-13. Watch this again. Perfectly executed play, and then it was all the tight end Miller.
Nice half roll to the left and come back, your tight end release. Mankey just losing his assignment in the wash, putting his eyes in the backfield rather than on his man, and he got caught up, and the Bears got a nice play. But we're watching two teams starting to blood each other's nose here.
Absolutely. You know, I thought Maynard really did a nice thing that time, too, because he completely looked him off. He was going left all the way, came back to the right at the last minute.
And he did the same thing on that seam route. He looked the safety, took him away from the play, and then drilled the seam. He came back, stayed front side, committed to it, and then got his pass back to the tight end. So exactly right, Barry. A quarterback using his eyes. Maynard's a new starter, but he's not a young quarterback. He's actually a junior, played at Buffalo. He's a guy that has some field experience, and Anthony Miller coming up with the catch that time for the end zone. Remember, he's got a couple drops on the day, but he finished that one big.
Well, it started with a block punt, which resulted in a 15-yard punt for Colorado. And the Bears finished it off in 4 plays. And again, a good kick by Tavecchio. This time, Clemens is going to come out with it, and he is going to be surrounded and downed all the way back at the 12-yard line. Gang tackled by the Bears. They'll mark this at the 14. It'll be a first down for Colorado. And we go to the sidelines once more, and Kate Longworth with the guest. Kate.
Well, Barry, it was certainly happier times for Colorado at halftime as they celebrated their 2001 Big 12 championship team. And I am joined by one of the stars of that team, tailback Chris Brown. And Chris, what was it like for you to be back on the field with so many of your teammates reliving that magical season?
You know, it's been a long time coming. We haven't seen a lot of them in a long, probably 10 years, most of them. And it was just a great feeling to walk back out in front of all these fans.
And it was such a magical season. So what memories, I'm guessing there's quite a few, stand out from that season? Maybe a game at Nebraska, something like that?
You know, beating Nebraska, which a team we haven't beaten in a while, then going back-to-back beating Texas, but no one gave us a chance to beat. You can't beat those 2 games.
Take me back to what it was like for you. You score a record 6 touchdowns for the school, and then reliving those 10 days before you take the field for that Texas game.
You know, that night and playing against Nebraska was definitely one you'll never forget. The way the team came out and played, and the fans were behind us, and then going and play Texas where no one gave us a chance to beat, it was unbelievable.
All right, and there are over 50 players from that championship team back in 2001. So hopefully the now Pac-12 Buffs can bring home a victory for that Big 12 championship team. Guys?
All right, thanks very much, Kate. Well, a gain of 2 on first down and an injured interior lineman once again for the Colorado Buffaloes. Hansen had to tuck it away and picked up about 3 yards on second down. So the Buffs are going to be looking at a third down, and we'll call it 4, and we'll see about this injury.
A very nice decision on that play by Tyler Hansen, though. Not trying to force the ball, picking up a couple yards, making it an easier play call on third down. I haven't seen him force anything. And it's been good to see him grow as a quarterback. Remember, this is a kid that has had some tough times here at Colorado. Started off, he essentially burned his redshirt year, backing up Cody Hawkins, who was then head coach Dan Hawkins' son. He came back in his second year, and he played sparingly, started several games, but ended up essentially in a battle with Cody Hawkins the whole time. 2010, he came back last year and was given the starting job before the start of the season, but then game 5 they pull him at halftime again for Cody Hawkins, and in game 7 he comes back out and ruptures his spleen. So he's had a rough career here in Colorado, and he's a kid that they say is a good leader. He's a gym rat, a guy that likes to be around football, and so he's a kid that you want to see have success out there, and you want to see him get the benefit of all the hard times he's had here, the effort that he's put in.
You had to look at Jack Harris, as he is the injured lineman being taken off the field right now. It's an area where Colorado cannot afford any more losses. Sione Tau comes on to replace him, but an already thin unit has just gotten a little bit thinner. Third down and 4. Hansen straight back, throws a swing, and a great play that time in the open field to stop Stewart by Michael Kendricks. And a flag comes in. A late hit. I think they're going to get Trevor Guyton on a personal foul.
The question is, Guyton actually really has an argument.
After the whistle was blown and the runner was down, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 92. 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic, first down.
I didn't hear that whistle.
Well, we're going to have an opportunity to listen to hear and see if you hear the whistle. Listen in.
There it is.
Right as he made the contact.
Yeah.
So a big break for Colorado as they get benefit of a California penalty that will allow them to keep possession and have a first down at the 30-yard line. They were going to be buried all the way back around the 20. Hansen gives to Stewart. Stewart tripped up as he crossed the line of scrimmage. Bears have made some adjustments in that department.
Obviously, the defense is flying around the field. They're getting to the outside. They're playing a different brand in this series than they did last series. You know, and it seems only fair that they give one back on a personal foul since they got their touchdown off the roughing on the last series.
They're going with a hurry up here. No huddle. Hansen rolls out this time on a bootleg. Now he straightens up, throws, caught by Thornton, and Thornton will pick up about 4. It's going to be third down and 5. Trevor Guyton comes off for California, limping a bit. DJ Holt, DJ Campbell make the stop.
It was a nice job by Cal's defense to pursue so hard from inside out, because Tyler Hansen had Paul Richardson deep across the middle. If he could have gotten his shoulder squared, that would have been a big play for Colorado.
Third down and 6 as it is. And they still go without a huddle. Hansen, short drop, throws, catch made by Richardson. Look out, 45-40 midfield. He's to the 35 and 30. He's going to go to the 10. Touchdown Buffaloes, 66 yards.
This is a football game. As slow as it was in the first half, these guys are now throwing big-time blows. Just a quick out, and the ball thrown behind Richardson, which allows him to get that upfield shoulder turn, and he put a move on DJ Campbell back there. Just a quick jab to the inside, and his change of direction was fantastic.
Try for point to make it a 3-point game once again. It's good. And it's a 23-20 game. Don't go anywhere.
Both these offenses finding their rhythm. They're getting the big plays. They're showing up. The quarterbacks, these last two drives, both for Cal and for Colorado, both throwing darts, being accurate, making the right reads. They're big players like Richardson coming up with a huge play. And Richardson has been a huge part of this package. He is their go-to guy. They think he's the best, the most special player on that offense, but he can catch the quick slant inside, get him on the outside, and they want to get him the ball in space because he is a guy that can make a move on you, as DJ Campbell just found out. Great throw over the top. He can catch the fade route. And you don't want to set him free over the middle with the ball if you're on defense, because he can make something happen.
He's been open a couple of times, too, when Hansen hasn't hit it. So he is somebody the Bears are going to have to pay very close attention to.
And only 165, but fast.
And that penalty, of course, for that late hit, costing the Bears dearly, much as the Colorado penalty cost the Buffs on that last Cal drive. This ball is going to be allowed to hit and go out of bounds, and the Bears are going to have excellent field position here. They'll bring this to the 40-yard line.
And that's a quick way to kill momentum as a kicker. Nothing will drive coaches crazier.
Kickoff out of bounds on the kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 40-yard line, first down.
Than making a mistake on a free play. And that is a free play. Offsides on the kickoff, jumping offsides on a PAT, kicking the ball out of bounds will drive a head coach nuts.
Look at the numbers for Paul Richardson. 8 catches, 188 yards and a touchdown, and he could have had a lot more.
Wow.
Played on the same high school team with Robert Woods, who was the Pac-10 Player of the Week last week with 17 catches for USC. How good was that team? Slant, Allen can't hang on.
Well, they went on to win the state championship for D3 against Marin Catholic from the north. But a very, very talented football team down there at Sarah High School.
They beat Marin Catholic, which, as memory serves, had Nico Dumont, who scored the first touchdown for California.
And they ran that single wing offense. So it was the passing game versus the pure running game.
Gonna get this off, and they just got it off. Look out. Maynard under pressure had to unload that ball. Came with a late blitz that time. Sandersfield was coming, came late.
And he had single coverage across the board. They had a safety help over the top, but if he had the extra beat to set his feet and deliver, he had Keenan Allen open on the corner. He had receivers open across the board. That could have been a big strike.
Instead, it's 3rd down and 10, and a crucial play here for the Bears. They're 3 of 7 in 3rd down conversions. They converted a 3rd and 20 on the last drive. Nickel defense for the Buffs. Blitz comes again. Maynard in trouble, bounces away, and then is surrounded down all the way back at the 30-yard line. A loss of 10, and the Buffs are on fire right now. Hardigan and Orms surrounding him.
Blitz pressure. It's a dog when backers come. It's a blitz when DBs come. Outside, you have 3 men. You're going to get pressure in the outside gaps. The Bears have to figure out who they're going to pick up. Just a little stunt. And all that pressure up inside. Maynard can't figure out how to get away. Jeff Tedford showed us this. He told us where they were coming from. They knew it was coming, but the Bears not able to pick it up.
So Anger will punt it away once again. He drives an end-over-end kick toward Richardson. It takes a California bounce. Big hop for Richardson at the 20, and Richardson is cracked but stays on his feet, and then is surrounded and down at the 22. 50-yard punt, no return. DJ Campbell makes the stop for California, but the Buffalo's offense has moved consistently. They'll have it again. And Richardson is down. And that does not bode well. Slowly getting to his feet.
165 pounds, taking a full-speed shot on kick coverage.
Somehow he stayed on his feet here and then got cracked.
He bounced off, but I guarantee you that hurt a lot.
Coming off under his own power, looks to be okay.
I think he stayed on his feet only through shock.
Yeah.
He was like, what just happened?
Exactly.
But the guy that gets up and walks away from a car crash, that was a lot of heat.
So the Buffaloes right now with the momentum clearly on their side. Just 40 ticks remaining here in the third quarter. Colorado trails by 3. They have the ball. They've scored twice here in the second half. Hansen, the quarterback. They start at the 22-yard line. And the give is to Stewart. Not this time. Stewart doesn't get anything. Stopped by Owusu and Ryan Davis for California.
Bears are going to have to find a way to honor the run, but get to Hansen. Right now, they're giving him time to throw the football. They have to get to him. They have to try to rattle him here, or else Colorado will continue to do what they've been doing and just be efficient with the football.
And the Buffaloes will not try to run another play here before the end of the third quarter, so the clock ticks down, ending the third quarter of this game. A quarter that was pretty much dominated by the Buffaloes, despite the fact that Cal did score a touchdown in it. It's a 23-20 ball game, 15 minutes of football left, and you have an idea the outcome of this game is in the balance over the final 15 minutes. We're coming back, fourth quarter action after this. A lot to cheer about for the home fans here in Boulder, Colorado, as the Buffaloes score twice in the third quarter, make this a 3-point ball game. They have it now, looking at a 2nd down and 10 at their own 22-yard line as we start the final period. Hansen straight back, throws, got Richardson, midfield, 45-40, he's at the 30, he's at the 20, he's at the 10, touchdown, Colorado, 78 yards, and how about that guy?
Wow. Last week, Richardson scores twice on post routes. They come back again and dial it up. A nice job by Tyler Hansen of using his eyes to occupy the safeties, but then the speed by Paul Richardson to run away from Mark Anthony. And Mark Anthony is not a slow player. He's a very fast defensive back. But Paul Richardson just showed another gear entirely.
Absolutely. What a huge play. The conversion is good, and the Buffalo lead for the second time today. They had a field goal to start the ball game, 27-23, a 4-point Colorado lead. Thanks to that man right there. We're coming back. Bears will have it behind by 4. 4-point lead for the Colorado Buffaloes. Tyler Hansen having a career here. He's at 412 yards. Only the 10th time in Colorado history anybody's done that. He's still got a quarter to play. And Paul Richardson, 9 catches, 266 yards.
Talking about a career. And that last play, he just showed that he had an entirely different gear.
So the Bears will see if they have an answer. Edmonds not going to bring it out from about 5 yards deep in the end zone. So Cal will start at the 20-yard line. Paul Richardson, 9 catches, 266, averaging almost 30 yards a catch, 2 touchdowns. Not bad for the guy who was the second best receiver on his high school team.
Wow. That is a crazy average. Almost 30 yards a catch. And Eric Bieniemy doing a great job of dialing up the right plays right now. And this is what offensive coordinators do when the defense is on the field. They go over their play sheet. They go over what they have, down and distance, what they've run, what they want to see coming back out. They're talking with the head coach, trying to figure out what kind of sets they want to come back with to keep the pressure on this California team.
Already a school record in receiving yardage for a game by Richardson. So we'll see if the Bears have an answer. Maynard throws, catches made by Jones. Jones reaching for the first down. He won't get it. Parker Orms defending. Gain of 9.
But a good first down play. You get some yards, you move the ball, you make second down call easy. Now this is a time where they could go for it. Second and very short. They could take a shot at the end zone right here.
Empty backfield this time. And again, the Buffs show blitz. a check with me to the sideline, and they'll change the play. They get the ball off, and it's a draw play with Maynard on the carry, a quarterback draw, and a first down to pick up a 4. Mentioned earlier that Richardson already breaking the Colorado single-game yards receiving record. Old mark of 222 was set by Walter Stanley and tied by Ray Caruth. So this is a pretty select company here.
And just a big game for both Richardson and for Tyler Hanson. Talk about building confidence.
First down Bears at the 33-yard line. Maynard over the middle in traffic. Allen makes the catch. Dangerous pass. Douglas Rippey again almost knocked the ball out of Allen's hands.
And great concentration by Allen just to haul that in.
They've taken that away pretty well, though, I think.
Linebackers flying from inside out, just being there for to stop that slant. You know, early on the Bears were hitting it, but Colorado has had an answer on defense. Douglas Rippey just flying around the field. Webb and Major both out there. And if I'm a receiver, I don't want to run into the teeth of those guys.
Second down and 7. Sefeli this time on the cutback is just about divided. He picked up about 3 yards and was hit high and low. John Major on the bottom.
Those guys playing a great game today. We just talked about the linebackers. They're asking these guys to come on the dog. They're asking them to pressure the quarterback. They're asking them to cover in space, play zone. Greg Brown is just dialing it up. I like the play calling on both sides of the ball for Colorado, but Greg Brown has had an answer on defense.
It's a big play right here. They bring C.J. Anderson to the near side of the field. Third down, the Bears need 4. And coming across early was Colorado. Free play for the Bears. Calvin makes the catch, gets the 45. Flag is down, but I suspect the Bears will take the play here. Uzo Diribe coming across a little bit early.
Offside. Defense. 5 yards from the previous spot. First down.
You see him at the top of the screen here. Just getting off early. Got to wait till the ball is snapped. Good job using your snap count by Zach Maynard.
So they took the penalty. It was just about the same yardage that was gained on the pass play. The Bears have a first down at the 45-yard line.
See David Goldberg out there giving Uzo Diribe a little bit of an earful about staying onside on third down.
Out of the I formation this time. And a quick pass on a slant, and all over the back of Keenan Allen was Parker Orms, but no call. See what you think.
Nice job of Allen to trap the inside.
He's going for the ball.
It's the back arm that you worry about, but I think it's a nice physical play, and you got to let guys play football at this level. You can't take everything away from Orms. That's part of his toolkit. You have to let him use his toolkit.
That play has just not been there for the Bears. Even when it's been good, it's been good for only 4 or 5 yards. Now 2nd and 10.
They're locked in man coverage on the outside. The Bears need to take a shot deep down the field to the outside. Quit throwing slants. They need to throw it down the field.
Blitz comes. Maynard has to unload it quickly. Throws for Allen, too tall. And Maynard's slow to get up. Parker Orms. We remember last week before the game we talked to Maynard saying, boy, he was saying, I really need to be hit. I want to be hit. Well, he's been hit plenty today, and he's had his bell rung a couple times.
He's getting hit today. That's Josh Hardigan. Another of those outstanding stand-up guys for Colorado. You'll see him move all over the field, but he's a guy that plays a big role in that Colorado defense. We haven't heard a lot from him today, but he came up big there.
So the Bears looking at a 3rd and 10. 4 of 9 in third down conversions. Blitz comes from the edge. Maynard throws, got Calvin wide open, makes the catch, first down inside the 30-yard line. And that time they did pick the blitz up. It was coming from the boundary side, and that's where Jeff Tedford said they would come.
They've been running 5-man protections, and with 5-man protection, somebody's going to come free. This time, they brought another man in there. They ran a 6-man protection, and they covered him up. You're going to see him across the front here. Everybody is going to give him the look here. They're going to come with that blitz, but they're going to keep 6 in and cross-check with the back. They pick it up and they deliver the ball. That's what you have to do. It's a cross read.
Safili really helped him. He had a decleater. Now he carries the ball and gets ahead to about the 25-yard line. He'll get about 3 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 7. Parachek and Rippey on the stop.
And we're seeing a lot more pressure. Colorado feeling very comfortable locking up man-to-man right now. Cal has not made them pay in man coverage. They got beat last time. It was a zone dog, so they were bringing pressure but zone behind. But Cal has not made them pay when they're locked up in man coverage.
2nd down and 7 at the 25-yard line. Pitch to Sofele. Sofele gets the lane, cuts it inside the 20-yard line. Picked up about 6. Conrad Obi making the tackle for the Buffaloes. It'll be 3rd down and a little more than a yard.
I was talking about making Colorado pay at the man coverage. Marvin Jones was to the boundary. He was locked up man-to-man with a single corner down there. It was Travis Sandersfeld. And he looked back at the coaches and he points to himself. He's like, I've got him. Give it to me, man-to-man. They can't cover me.
You can see the numbers, but the Bears had 64 snaps in the first half, only 18 here in the second half. They give it to Anderson. Anderson right up the gut, on his feet at the 5, touchdown California. 20 yards on that, right up the middle.
And exactly what the Bears needed to do. Find a way to keep moving the ball down the field. Hit the pass, hit the mid-pass. Run the football hard and get that offensive line to just wash people by. A front side zone. And as a tailback, as you see it all washed by, you know you've got green grass behind it.
Justin Cheadle and Matt Summers-Gavin just obliterated the right side of the defense. Tavecchio converts, and the Bears are back in front. What a ball game. Watch the blocking up front. Cheadle and Summers-Gavin just knocking everybody aside, and then Anderson doing what Jeff Tedford has hoped somebody would step up and do. So the Bears go in front again. They lead by 3. They'll give it back to the Colorado Buffaloes, who have been unstoppable so far in the second half. Clancy Pendergast scratching his head, got to find something because nothing's worked so far.
I would expect to see him dial up a little bit of pressure here. He's a guy that doesn't like to see his defense standing still.
This is Lockridge coming back with the kickoff to the 20-yard line. And with that, let's go down to the sideline. Kate Longworth. Kate, what do you got?
Well, Barry, Paul Richardson was determined to be a part of the Pac-12. He just didn't know what team he was going to play for. The wide receiver originally committed to UCLA and actually showed up on campus in Los Angeles, but then changed his mind and reported to CU 2 days into camp last year. And aren't the Buffs happy with this change of heart? This is the 4th time Richardson's had a multi-touchdown game. And that's just over the Buffs' last 8 outings. Those 4 games already 3rd most for Colorado history.
And he's only a sophomore. Hansen this time give to Stewart. Stewart's going to get a couple to about the 22-yard line. Again, 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. The Bears have just not had an answer for Paul Richardson. He's got 266 yards caught, passes caught, and there were probably at least 2 or 3 other instances where he had put some distance between himself and the closest defender, and Hansen was not able to get the ball to him.
Exactly. He could have had a couple more. The problem is, if you honor the running game, you have to stick 7 or 8 guys in the box. That means you're going to get those one-on-one matchups. Richardson has been hurting them in that matchup.
Hansen this time rolls to his right. Now he steps up, airs it out. This for McCulloch. And McCulloch almost made a one-handed grab on the sideline. Couldn't quite hang on. It would have been a brilliant catch. Ryan Davis was putting some pressure on Hansen.
And Mark Anthony out there. Watch them playing the hand game. You got McCulloch with his hand out there. Anthony hitting him in the hand. McCulloch almost able to get the 1 mitt underneath it. But the officials are letting these guys play football right now. When they start calling penalties late in the game and start taking things away, it makes it tough to be a football player. But I like the officials here. They're letting these guys play.
I think it's been a very well-officiated game. They've had to make some tough calls, at least to our way of thinking. They've all been right. This time they start Richardson in motion one way, then bring him back the other way. Hansen straight back. Steps up. Now he'll run. He's got room. And he's going to be close to a first down, but not enough. going to be about 2 yards short. And I have to think that John Embry will punt this ball away. I can't imagine them going for it this deep in their own territory.
And at this point in the game. But there's a time when you get down as a quarterback, and there's a time when you don't. That time, Tyler Hansen, trying to make the move upfield, he needed to stay on his feet and eke out those extra couple yards.
So on to do the punting will be O'Neal. Marvin Jones will be the deep man for California. And O'Neal left foots it away from Jones. And it is going to take a Colorado bounce to the 30-yard line, inside the 30, to about the 29. 43-yard punt, but an effective 43-yard punt. And that's where the Bears will start. Well, stand shoulder to shoulder with the Buffs by following them on Facebook and Twitter. Like Colorado Buffaloes on Facebook and follow at CU Buffs on Twitter to stay informed of all the latest CU news all season long. So the Bears will take over after a stop, something they've not been able to do here in the second half. 8:13 remaining in the game. Still a game that is there for the taking. And a discussion amongst the officials here at the near side 40-yard line. And I'm not quite sure what this is all about.
The ebb and flow of this game, though, in the second half has been really fun to watch. Watching these teams punch and counterpunch each other back and forth.
Now we have all the officials on this one. They have a quorum.
So what could be so tough of ruling?
Could be a clock issue.
After a down punt.
And now we're going to come talk to the coaches. And Jeff Tedford being very animated in his conversation. Explanation on the other side of the field to John Embry.
And he seems very calm about this.
Yes, he does.
Wonder which way this call is going.
Now there's a flag down. Number 47 from the previous play took off his jersey, put on a different jersey, number 1. He is not allowed to do this by rule. This will be a substitution infraction, charged 5 yards from this spot. It'll be first down and 15 yards for Cal.
I think the issue there is that he did it on the field.
Yes.
Because he did that. They have to wear a special jersey because California has 2 number 1s on their punt return team. So Marvin Jones wears 47. Last week he wore 49. And it's like a vest.
Yeah.
And he normally would come to the sidelines, take his vest off, and then go back in with his usual number 1. And now he's going to have to sit for a play.
Essentially almost an illegal substitution type of rule, even though it's the same player.
Yeah, Jones substituted for Jones.
Yeah.
Bottom line is it cost the Bears 5 yards.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you get off the sideline. And again, that punt down on the far side of the field, you have to make it all the way back over.
There will be no yardage assessed. First and 10, Cal has used their first time out of the half.
Well, Cal has already used its first time out of the half. They're using their second time out of the half. And there was the switch. And I don't know if that means now he has to wear 47. This is very confusing. He normally will wear jersey number 1. When the offense is on the field, Marvin Jones is number 1. But they have another number 1 who also plays on the punt return team, Steve Williams. So Steve Williams wears 1, and Marvin Jones has to wear the jersey, the vest, if you will, of number 47. But on the sideline, they just put 47 back on Marvin Jones. But there's no 5-yard march off against the Bears. So it's first and 10. Cifelli straight ahead, absolutely nothing.
And guess who on the tackle?
Yep, Rippey was right in there, got help from Majors.
Tyler Orm Orms on the outside. They're playing fast. Tyler Orms has been one of those guys who's been coming up, making plays. They are flying to the football right now, but they are in man coverage, and the Bears have to take their shot.
And again, a look-at-me call. They look to the sideline. An audible is called. And they get the playoff. Maynard steps up over the middle. What a catch by Edmond. A one-handed grab at the 49-yard line of the Buffaloes.
But he paid for it. He's taking himself out of the game right now. Travis Sandersfeld in coverage. Edmond beats him on the inside move, goes up with a great one-hand grab, and just gets absolutely sandwiched at the end by Ray Polk.
And now it's coming back.
And Sandersfeld.
The ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is under further review.
Well, now they're calling it an incomplete pass, but it is under review. I didn't see the ball hit the ground. Let's take a look at it. Let's see if we can see that the ball perhaps did. A great grab, one-hander, tucks it away.
Tucked away, and again, you have to finish the catch.
Well, that looks pretty inconclusive to me.
You have to finish the catch. That's the key. Even if he has it here, he comes down with it, clearly has possession.
Yeah.
But you have to finish and come up with the ball.
That's a catch.
That's a catch. He still maintained possession. There's no way that's an incomplete pass, though. He has control when it touches the ground. You can roll over on it. Oh, it does come out. It comes out the backside. You can see it on that angle right there. Comes out the back of his arms. Good call by the official. You have to finish the catch in the ruling nowadays. So if you don't have complete control over that football and show control to the official, they will rule it an incomplete pass.
Ruling on the field is incomplete pass.
This is a rule as a quarterback that I disagreed with. In the old rule, this is clearly a catch. He goes up, he secures it, 1 foot down, 2 feet down, it's under control, it's a catch. But now with the new ruling, that ball did come out.
Confirmed, incomplete pass, third down.
You have to finish the catch. Under the new rule, that is an accurate call. Another good job by the officials. Third
down as it is and 10 yards. The Bears would have had a first down at the 49-yard line.
Calvin 6 of 11, over 50% on third down conversions so far today. They need that string to continue right now.
So a big play right here, and the crowd on its feet at Folsom Field. Maynard out of the gun. Straight back blitz comes. Maynard steps away from it. Now he throws under fire, and one hops it in front of a defender, the closest man to it, and the Bears will give it up.
And the Bears missing an opportunity. They have a completely uncovered receiver in Anthony Miller on the outside. And they just miss it, looking for the shot down the field. As a quarterback, you have to see that. You have to make the audible. If they run just that quick slant, they get Miller down the field for 15 yards. But Maynard did not pick it up, and as a result, the Bears have to punt.
Rodney Stewart is going to be the deep man to receive the punt of Brian Anger. And Anger hits this one pretty good. Drives Stewart all the way back to the 15-yard line, and he called for a fair catch. Huge punt by Anger, 56 yards, no return. 3-point game, and we're coming back. Welcome back. It's a 3-point ball game. Colorado will have the football at its own 15-yard line. 7 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Let's go back to our edge of the game and see how it's worked out, Mike.
Well, Colorado wanted to establish the running game. Only 52 yards for Stewart, but enough so that play action was effective.
Hansen throws. McCulloch catches at the 19-yard line. And let's talk about California and their edge.
Well, Cal had to use team speed. Marvin Jones, 4 catches today for 47 yards, but they're not taking that matchup on the outside when they're getting the one-on-one. They need to do that and contain Hansen. I was talking about keep him in the pocket. They need to keep him under control because 412 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. He has exploded today.
Nobody has thrown for 400 yards in the last 6 years against California. They stack the receivers one way this time. Give it to Stewart. Stewart's going to be stopped almost as he gets started. Bears have done a good job on him. Jaleel and Camparella make the stop.
We're going to end up with a 3rd and 5 here. Times like this, coaches sometimes get conservative. Colorado has been so effective with Paul Richardson in the passing game. I think Eric Bieniemy has to go for the throat here.
So 3rd down and a long 5. Hansen straight back. Bears bring a late blitz. Hansen throws. Guess who's got it? Richardson for the 1st down at the 27-yard line. Mark Anthony's having a long day out there.
Well, you have to respect his speed on the outside. He's now beat you deep. He's run away from you. This time, he threatens the go route on the outside and instead pulls up past the sticks. You have to give him the cushion. You have to let him have it. And so his effectiveness in the deep routes, his effectiveness running away has opened up the underneath passing on the outside.
1st down and 10, a big 3rd down play that time for the Buffaloes. 5:37 remaining. It's a 3-point game. Hansen straight back in trouble, and he gets away from it. 25-30 and slides down, and he really got something out of nothing. He was had by Camparelli.
Had an absolute finishing shot for Camparelli. If he plants that right foot, he has Hansen's nameplate directly in his sights. Coming off this backside, and instead he misses the tackle. That is the shot that outside linebackers and defensive ends dream of. And Camparelli missed his shot. You have to finish out there. If you got that rush and you're untouched, you have to finish the quarterback.
And Hansen turned it into a plus play. Only picked up a yard, but 2nd and 9. Straight back, Hansen once again. Screen, look out. Here's Stewart at the 30, 35 to the 40. Gets the outside 45 midfield and gets into California territory at the 45-yard line. Steve Williams saving tackle, and that play has worked consistently well for the Buffaloes. A gain of 26.
And really doing a nice job of using their assets like we talked about earlier. You don't want to run Stewart every time inside, but you get him outside on the screen away from the big bodies, and he is a special player that can make people miss. He does such a nice job as a pass catcher. He has a feel for that screen game. It's such an effective piece of that offense.
Tell you what, Eric Bieniemy is really dialing up the right plays at the right time very consistently. Here's a bootleg. And Hansen going to look for it all this time. Throws, and unable to hold on was Stewart. And that was like his 3rd option. He was looking down the center of the field to Cefalo.
Bears doing a good job of covering the middle. They had double coverage down there. But the comeback sometimes is the gasher. You know, the guy that you fake to is oftentimes the most uncovered man on the field. And Bieniemy knows he had that play on the backside if they just complete the ball. Now he's got to come back and try to figure out a play for 2nd and long.
Hansen now up to number 3 all-time in a game for Colorado. And here's a reverse with Richardson. 45-40. Stopped right around the 1st down marker. I think perhaps a little bit short by Steve Williams. Again, well executed. Daniel Munier out in front of that play. Clemens also there with a clear out. Or make it McCulloch.
Again, giving off of that power look. Richardson just coming around on the sweep.
3rd and short, and you have to think this is 2-down yardage or 2-down situation here. Hansen rolls out. Under pressure, rolls away from it easily, floats it. And Stewart was already out of bounds, so that wasn't going to be good no matter what happened. Now it's 4th down, and they need a yard.
DJ Campbell over there, who was in coverage, is actually got his hands on his knees. You can see the Bears physically sucking air right now, trying to get oxygen here late in the game. Again, playing at altitude, guys are tired. Michael Coley coming on the field to replace DJ Campbell. You can see the oxygen here playing a factor with this Bears defense.
Yeah. 4th down and a yard, and what could be the play of the game upcoming with 3:18 remaining. They go in a power eye, and you can see Josh Hill suck and win. Here's Hanson's going to get it himself. 35-30 and out of bounds. 1st down, Buffaloes. And again, right play at the right time.
Eric Bieniemy is calling a fantastic game, especially the second half. Counteraction, naked boot. This time, it was never going to be a pass. It was a run all the way. Tyler Hanson likes to run with the football, and Eric Bieniemy, again, using his tools to their fullest.
1st down at the 29-yard line. 3 minutes remaining in the ball game. Buffaloes trail by 3. And a timeout called by Colorado. That's their first. The Bears, remember, have only 1 timeout remaining. And in a close game, we talked to Jeff Tefford about this before the season started. In a close game, you want to save your timeouts because of that 10-second rule.
Well, you've always wanted to save them regardless because you want to have those in the bank at the end if you need them to come from behind. But now with that 10-second runoff, not having timeouts can literally lose a game for you. Beforehand, you could come up, you could snap the ball. Even if you're offsides, you could dump the ball and take the penalty. Now you can't do that anymore.
Upcoming for Colorado, they play Colorado State, a rival game, of course. That's in Denver. And then they have to go to Ohio State. That's on the 24th. Then Washington State. Washington State will go to 2-0 after today. Then they get number 6 Stanford. Stanford a winner over Duke today. Big. Washington at Washington on the 15th. I mean, there are no gimmies in the Pac-12 conference. It's just that simple. So 1st down at the 29-yard line. 2:50 remaining to be played here in this game. Hanson straight back, short drop, little pump fake. Now he rolls away from pressure, and he'll just tuck it away and get it down about the 25-yard line. He'll pick up about 4. Ryan Davis runs him out. Good coverage that time in the secondary for the Bears.
Hanson actually had to read. If he stays in the pocket another second, he has that seam that he was looking for, a little out and up on the inside. But the offensive line, which was so porous last week for Colorado, giving up 7 sacks, has held up extremely well this week versus a very good Bears defensive line.
Yeah, and without its best offensive lineman. Bakhtiari is out of the game. Jack Harris got hurt earlier. He's not returned. Give to Stewart. Stewart bumps off one man and then is stopped as he gets back to the line of scrimmage by Camporelli.
And that's what I was talking about when I said you don't want to make Stewart an every down between the tackles back, because once he gets stopped in there, big guys putting arms on him. He's not a big man, so you're going to bring him down inside. But using him the way that Bieniemy has used him today, I think is perfect for this kind of running back. He's closing in on the career rushing mark here at Colorado, but he's so effective in the screen game and so effective in the pass game. Getting him outside of the pocket and getting him the ball is exactly how you have to use him.
Another big 3rd down play here. They're 5 of 14. This one is huge. They are in field goal range, though. Hanson straight back, throws a slant. Richardson's got it. 1st down, Colorado. Am I being repetitive?
It sounds familiar. And they did it with the same exact play that they did before. Josh Hill in coverage. They line up 2 receivers on the outside. And all they do is they run a little pick route. They make the defense decide late. As a quarterback throwing the slant, all you need is a window. Doesn't have to be a big window, just a window. And Hanson has the confidence to put that ball in there. 1st down Buffs.
And they're really managing the clock well, too. 1:05 remaining in this game. Give to Stewart. Stewart's got room. 10-5. The flag is down. Stewart is out of bounds at the 5-yard line. We'll see about the flag.
Generally in the position where it's a hold. And when a running back comes off the outside like that, so clean.
Offense number 73. 10
Got the call on Ryan Miller.
Play 1st down.
And it took away a big game.
That veteran right guard. You can see him right in here as he comes out. Watch him seal it off. Anytime you clear it back, he's got his hands outside the frame, and he's got the offensive horse collar going there, both shoulder pads. Good call by the officials.
Moves the ball back to the 24-yard line, still very much in field goal range. First down and 20. And again, flags fall, and again, a false start, and that will back the Buffs up another 5.
5 yards.
Killing him right
Still first
now.
down.
Every yard back is a yard closer to being out of field goal range. 57 seconds left.
The ball does, though, seem to be carrying better in the direction that Colorado is going right now. And remember, the field goal kicker, Oliver, already has a 52-yarder.
But he's a true freshman, too.
Yep. Hansen straight back. Steps up. Over the middle. Richardson has it knocked away. Brilliant play by Steve Williams. He had the catch made, and Williams just reached up and knocked it out of his hands.
Fantastic play by Williams. That's a ball as a quarterback that you want to throw lower. If he doesn't have to jump for this ball, it's a catch. But Steve Williams right in coverage. They tried to come back to that post. He scored on it twice last week versus Hawaii. He scored on it once today. This time, Steve Williams said, not in my end zone, not this time.
But I still don't think you get away from it.
Oh, you got to come back.
Absolutely. I mean, he was there, did everything but catch the ball. Second down. Hansen straight back again. He's got all day once again. He steps up, finds time, throws underneath. Catch is made this time by Dean. And that'll get about 11 yards back to the 15-yard line.
That makes it a 32-yard field goal if they don't gain any more positive yards, which is much more doable for a freshman kicker. At home, first game for a freshman, and you're going to put him in a chance to tie the game here if you don't score a touchdown. Getting him back in this range makes it much more comfortable.
And on that last pass, Tyler Hansen has become the most proficient single-game passer in Colorado history. He's at 474 yards now, moved ahead of the 465 yards set by Mike Moschetti back in 1999 against San Jose State. So quite a day for Tyler Hansen.
Had a look at Will Oliver there for a second. What's going through his head as a true freshman?
Well, I'll tell you, he looked awfully confident on a 52-yarder, but this one, maybe the Adam's apple might be a little tighter.
Oh.
Putting the cart before the horse. We're still going to see another play here, and Tyler Hansen has been magic.
He's been very good so far, especially in the second half.
So third down, they need 11, 44 seconds remaining in the game. It's a 3-point California lead. Bears drop everybody off. Hansen looking for help someplace. He's not going to get it. Now he rolls away, buys some time, throws to the end zone. Flag is down, and the ball is landing harmlessly on the ground. Thought I saw a flag fly. Perhaps I didn't.
Fourth down.
And it's fourth down, and Tyler Hansen is down and holding his right knee. They converted 3 third-down drives on this drive. 3 third-down plays, I should say, and this does not look good for Hansen.
And him finding a way to stay alive and not take the big sack. It looks like they're stretching a cramp. You see him stretch that.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, you see him stretch that calf like that. It's usually a cramp. And he comes down, and he's okay. He grabs it.
Yeah, it is a cramp.
Yeah, it's a cramp. The way they stretch that calf, and when it tightens up in a hurry. But that is good news for the Buffs.
I'll say. So now Oliver will come on, the freshman, out of the hold of Justin Gorman. This will be a 30, we'll call 32.
So with one timeout left, and knowing the Bears will get the ball back, as a coach, I wouldn't try to ice him. Knowing that he's a freshman, I would let him kick the ball and then try to get it back if I can, if he makes it.
Absolutely, you need the timeout.
And especially with the new 10-second runoff, as we discussed.
So Oliver, the freshman, facing pressure he's not before seen. It is on its way, and it is good. He didn't make it by much. It was curving away, but he made it. And that's the bottom line, and we're tied at 30.
He's going to be a good kicker.
Yeah, I think he is.
As a quarterback and a former player, you always wonder about a kid, how they play under pressure. Oliver's going to be a good kicker. True freshman coming in to put his team in a position to go to overtime here. Game hanging on his shoulders. And it's just like a chip shot off the driving range. Puts it up and drills it. Well struck, freshman.
I'll say.
You know, those guys take a lot of heat, but there isn't more pressure than on a kicker at the end of a game.
Yeah, nobody notices him for 59 minutes and 50 seconds. And then all of a sudden, 16 plays on that last drive, 70 yards. I mean, Colorado has played extremely, whether they win this game or lose this game, they played great in the second half.
Well, you know, John Embry told us yesterday he wanted to develop an identity for this team. I think they're developing an identity of a tough, scrappy team that has executed when they've had to.
And now we're going to get Colorado calling a timeout here. What do you do here? Do you just go ahead and kick away and take a chance on a run back by Edmond, or do you just kind of squib it?
You know, that's always the question at the end of the half. If you've covered kicks all game long, and Cal has covered kicks very well, or excuse me, Colorado's covered kicks very well all game long, then why wouldn't you kick it deep? You always see coaches go with that squib in the hopes that you get your team down there. But quite honestly, if you get the wrong bounce, that squib gets down there quicker. It doesn't let you get under. It doesn't let you get your coverage down there, and it creates more lanes. I say if you trust your special teams, and there's no reason not to, because Colorado has been very good today covering on kicks, kick it and play football.
All right, so we'll see. Now, Oliver does not. Well, he is doing the kicking off this time. He normally is not the kickoff man. Justin Castor has kicked off the whole game, but it is Oliver this time.
They'll probably go for the blue pin. That's what they're going to look for, try to trap somebody near a sideline.
Oliver does go with a squib, and it's taken by the up man Miller. And Miller starts back and is down at the 32-yard line. I'd say an effective kick by Oliver.
And that's what you hope for, coach, is that somebody in that front line tries to grab it rather than letting your athletes in the back grab it. If Anthony Miller lets that go through, now the coverage team isn't down there, and the Bears have a chance to return it.
So the Bears have 25 seconds, 3, maybe 4 plays. They can only take 1 timeout, however. And if they commit a penalty, remember that Colorado has the option of running 10 seconds off the clock. And the Bears aren't going to do any business. They're just going to take a knee and play overtime.
Same choice Dennis Erickson made last night versus Missouri. They feel they want to line it up and take a shot in overtime.
So we will go to overtime. Each team will have a possession. If we're tied, they'll have another possession. If we're still tied, they'll have another possession. But then you have to go for a 2-point conversion.
That's when it gets dicey.
And so here are those rules. Each team will start an offensive drive at the opponent's 25-yard line. Team's possession ends when it either scores, misses a field goal, scores a field goal, as we said, fails to gain a first down, or loses the ball by way of turnover. Teams have to go for a 2-point conversion on the third go-round.
And again, they will flip the coin to see who gets to choose. And if you choose, you always choose defense.
Right.
So you know exactly what you have to do as an offensive unit. Tosh Lupoy, defensive line coach down there, telling these guys to hold the rope. That's the slogan for this Cal team. You hold the rope, meaning everybody's together. It's teamwork. Everybody holds on. You don't let anybody go. And Tosh Lupoy was a great defensive lineman for the Bears, as hard a worker as you've ever seen.
So we will have a coin toss once again. The team captains coming to the center of the field.
Overtime period. Each team will get 1 possession from the 25-yard line. Each team has 1 timeout, and you have 1 challenge if you have a timeout remaining. Cal, you will call the toss. What's your call? Tell me again? Tails. Tails. Cal has called tails. It is a tails. Your choices are to be on offense, on defense, or to defend a goal, to choose a side.
Defense first.
You'd like to be on defense. Yeah. Which side of the field would you like to be on? This side. Okay. You want to go that way? Or
we're defending ourselves.
You're going in that way.
Okay, turn your backs this way. Excuse me.
No, they're going to switch it. They're going to go in that way. They're going to go to the closed end of the stadium.
That's what I thought, because I was going to say the ball carries much more going from our left to our right.
Well, not just that. The noise down in the closed end is going to be louder. You're going to be able to use
Colorado.
the home crowd.
Good luck in overtime, Jeff.
The reason you heard the officials say both teams will get a possession. It's not the overtime NFL rule where it was sudden death. Each team has a chance to score. They're not going to let a coin toss decide the game.
I like the college rule. I always have liked the college rule, and I think the pros ought to adapt, if not exactly the college rule, something similar to that. We're tied at 30. We're going to overtime, and we'll get to that when we come back to Folsom Field after this. We welcome you back. We go to overtime. Colorado with the first possession. Cal has not played an overtime game since October 2006 when they beat the Washington Huskies by a 31-24 score. First play right up the gut. Stewart picks up 9. Josh Hill defending for California, but again a 9 on first down.
We gave that offensive line for Colorado grief early in this game, but they have done a fantastic job moving people off the ball today and creating holes in the run game when they have needed to.
So second down and short. Hansen toying with a 500-yard gain. Give it to Stewart again, first down, and more inside the 5-yard line. Rodney Stewart, 2 carries, and he's picked up 21 yards. Sean Cattouse makes the stop.
And he ran through several arm tackles, great vision, and a nice cut at the line of scrimmage. He made a cut 2 holes over, saw the space behind the black shirt, and you do not want your safeties making tackles on tailbacks if you're a defensive coordinator.
First down and goal. Keep in mind the Bears have not had a quarterback sack in this game. Hansen, give it to Stewart again. This time he stopped before he can get started. First man to him was Trevor Guyton, and then it was DJ Campbell who finished him off right about the line of scrimmage.
It gets to a coaching point. When we talked to John Embry yesterday, he said they were still running ones-on-ones in run drill in the hole with guys hitting each other at full speed, game speed, trying to develop toughness, trying to develop technique, and it is paying off for this offensive line for the Buffs.
He also said the D's won.
Yeah, that's right.
Out of the power eye on second down, they need 4. They give it to Stewart again. Stewart trying to bounce it outside, surrounded and down right at the line of scrimmage, and that'll be third down. Might have even lost a yard. Trevor Guyton and Caparelli on the stop for California.
And 3rd and 5. I would expect to see play action. Something where you allow Tyler Hansen to get outside and potentially make a play himself. As a linebacker, you have to honor the run, but you have to be aware of play action.
Hansen has completed just 2 of his last 6 passes. He needs 5. Straight back. Pump fake. Throw the end zone. It is knocked away on a great defensive job by Steve Williams. Williams almost had a pick. Williams
had a chance to virtually end this game, because if he picks that ball off, A, he could return it. But B, he gets this pick. Cal's offense, all they have to do is come out, line up, and kick a field goal, and they win the game.
Great coverage the entire play by Williams. So it'll be Oliver to try the field goal, chip shot field goal for him. It's going to be a 22-yarder. But it does open the door a crack for California. It is placed. It is on its way. It is good. And the Buffs take a 33-3 lead.
And what that does, I know that the Buffs scored, but that takes pressure off of Cal, because I've been in that situation where you have to come out and score a touchdown. And there's a lot of pressure. You have to be perfect. You feel like you have to be perfect. It seems like the game clock speeds up and everything around you is moving faster. But now if you only have to kick a field goal to tie, it takes some pressure off as a quarterback, as an offense, and allows you to operate without being hurried.
So now the Bears at the 25-yard line go on offense. And you made a good point earlier. They're at the closed end of the stadium here, and they're going to hear it from the Colorado fans.
Yeah, this is when the hometown crowd has to come through as the 12th man.
Probably go with a silent count. Maynard now goes up under center. And Maynard gives to Sefeli. Sefeli bumps off one man, but picks up only about a yard. Josh Hartigan, first man to him.
And great pursuit by Derek Webb, inside out, chasing down the play. I've been really impressed with this defense for Colorado in the second half. They are flying around the ball.
Absolutely. Both sides of the ball. They played great in the second half. Second down and 9 now for the Bears. The crowd really into this game. Zach Maynard getting a true test here. Maynard straight back. He's got a little time. Little clear out this time for Jones. Makes the catch short of the first down. It's going to be third down and just about a yard.
3rd and 1, much easier than 3rd and long.
They bring Anderson into the ball game. Anderson really is the banger on this team. And the only reason he's not getting more minutes is he's still working on his protections. He's the lone setback. Allen to the near side, 2 tight ends. They give it to Anderson. Stutter steps, falls forward and gets it. He didn't get it by much.
Nice job making that initial move, though, because if he gets caught in that wash, he doesn't get it at all. Making that initial cut. Watch him bounce back to his left. That cut is what got him free for the first down. Good vision and good ability to react to what you see.
So Anderson will come off. Sefeli will come back. Bears have a first down at the 15-yard line. Maynard under center, and a flag is down. And a procedure call against the Bears. So that'll back them up 5.
5 yards. Still first down.
Matt Summers-Gavin getting out of his stance a little early.
What I was talking about with that clock speeding up, you feel like you're in a rush, you got to get going. Matt Summers-Gavin, a very good player on that offensive line, a veteran guy out there. And he jumps. It's getting loud down in that end zone. The hometown crowd is coming through.
It really is. They are on their feet as one. And the Bears are really hearing it. Maynard under center, give to Sefeli. Sefeli tries to get the edge down, cuts back, flag down. And that is in the area of holding.
And the Bears are about to penalty themselves out of field goal range.
Personal foul, face mask on the offense.
Offensive face mask.
15 yards from the
and a 15-yard penalty. That's worse than holding.
Worse than holding. Essentially, it is a hold.
Yeah,
it's just a holding by the face mask, or as I like to call it, the handle.
Right.
Because whenever someone gets a hand on it, it becomes a handle.
And that's going to back the Bears all the way up to the 35-yard line.
There it is. Matt Summers-Gavin again, hands up around the head. And it's so easy to get your hand into that face mask. Hand placement, critical for the offensive lineman.
And quite honestly, from this point, I think it's right at the edge of Giorgio Tavecchio's range. Maynard straight back. Throws, got a man. It is caught by Allen. Allen at the 5, stopped at the 3-yard line.
Wow.
Play of the day for California.
And a game-saving play potentially by Parker Orms to come up with that tackle. Great catch by Keenan Allen. Maynard looking to the field, coming back, and of course, going to his brother.
And just getting it over the hands of Sandersfield.
Just, but Parker Orms, if this Colorado defense can stop the Bears, came up with a huge tackle.
Anderson back at tailback. And a bootleg with Maynard running, trying to get to the edge, and loses 2 yards.
And Marvin Jones almost got another holding penalty out there at receiver, working hard, trying to get the block.
So it'll be second down. Now it's 2nd and 5.
Great defense by Colorado, keeping somebody home on the backside boot.
So Fele comes back into the ball game. Anderson will leave. And again, the crowd gets involved at the 5-yard line. Bears need a touchdown to win, a field goal to tie. They've got 7 seconds on the play clock to get this off. And they do. Short drop. Maynard throws for Allen. He's got it. Touchdown. Game over.
And the hometown crowd absolutely silenced.
Brother to brother. And the act works again. And I mean, they snatched that win away from a team that had all the momentum.
All of it. And that had played so well in the second half, had really earned it. And the Bears came away just making enough plays to win that game.
And I'm sure all of them are breathing a collective sigh of relief and saying, I'll take it, thank you very much, we're 2-0.
Oh, absolutely. You walk out of your first road game like this with a win, and you have to be happy.
I mean, Allen is a guy who loves to talk, and I'm sure he's telling Todd McKim all about it, and it was a gutsy win for the Cal Bears. That's all I can say, because quite frankly, they were outplayed on both sides of the ball in the second half.
Just analyzing it, it's exactly what I said. They came up with just enough plays. I mean, by one, just enough plays to win that game, because you pointed out, Barry, Colorado outplayed them, out-physicaled them, and out-schemed them in the second half.
And what a tough loss for the home team. Tyler Hansen was sensational today. The offensive line of the Colorado Buffaloes, so maligned for giving up 7 sacks in Honolulu last week, played brilliantly. No sacks today. Richardson, out of this world. 270-some yards, pass catching, a couple of touchdowns. And the defense played well, too.
Yeah, really night and day from last week. And you think about it, I had a coach, Mike Daly, who used to say, winning is the glue that binds a team together. A big win like that for John Embry at home would have been a huge start. For the Bears, a huge win on the road will be that glue. They will have to correct a lot of things when they look at film, but they can do it at 2-0.
Well, and that's a lot easier, isn't it?
Much easier.
Keenan Allen's catch on that 32-yard play on a first down and 30, probably the key play of the game.
Absolutely huge at the end.
And then, of course, the touchdown pass in the same combination, Maynard to Allen. And right now, Kate Longworth is with quarterback Zach Maynard. Got to be a happy guy, Kate.
Oh, that's right. When you win a game like that, of course you're a happy guy. And take me through that final drive of this game.
That final drive, we knew we had to score or either kick a field goal and tie the game up. We was looking to score the whole time. Offensive line pushed. They did a great job. Running backs did a great job. Receivers did well. I just executed and got on the ball. We scored.
And overall, how pleased were you with today's offense?
Today's offense, we did a lot of great things. We got to pick up more blitzes. You know, it was a little shaky for us in the first half. As long as the third quarter, but we picked it up at the end of the game and we won the game.
And this is a non-conference game, but you got a chance, a new look at your new opponent in the Pac-12. What'd you see from Colorado?
Well, Colorado, they had a great game today. They gave us a lot of stuff that, we couldn't pick up at first. We had the game planning, and they did a great job today. I'm looking forward to playing in the conference.
And you looking forward to getting back on lower ground here? You feeling the altitude in this game?
Yeah, the first half I was a little shaky. It was hard for me to get my breath, but after a while you keep playing here, you keep running, you start to adjust to it.
All right, well, catch your breath now. Big celebration for the California Bears as they take this game in overtime over Colorado. Let's go now. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks very much, Kate. And a gutsy win. Zach Maynard, nothing if not a gutsy quarterback.
Absolutely. He showed up and he made the 2 big passes at the end of the game when he had to. Again, that poise. He never panicked. He came back and got it.
He and his brother play Mortal Kombat all the time. That's their joy in life. Well, today it wasn't Mortal Kombat. It was pitch and catch for the winning touchdown. That is a wrap for us from here at Boulder. For my partners, Mike Pulaski and Kate Longworth, our producer, Doug Marino, and our director, Mark Wolfson, especially for our terrific crew. I'm Barry Tompkins. So long, everybody.